Wow. Lucas stall out them pint bottles, I granny crib. I poured so much I ain't want to live. Told money then, shit, we in the wind. I was in the hood when I clipped the bin. Since a young nigga, I been ready. Went glass house on every Chevy. In this game, I tried plenty settings. It's all or nothing. How niggas been. Got sucking niggas, keep suckers with them. One of the reasons I ain't fucking with them. Trish taking some more than them. Yeah, she couldn't even afford a winner. I'm open late, don't need a scale, and it's always open. Sneak wishing well, I double down, slick shit to spell. Shot it, no, I don't kiss and tell. I'm faded, 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 faded. I'm faded, 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 faded. And I'm faded, 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 faded. I'm faded, 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 faded. All right, chat. Y'all give me 1 second, man. We ain't got nobody in here yet. Hold on, chat. All right, man. I'm working 2 chats right now, man. I'm working 2 chats right now. Why? Is this one frozen? Yeah, that one's frozen. All right, bet, chat. All right, chat, man. Y'all ready, man? All right, I think I got it together, man. I think we almost ready. We got Mangoes backstage. Hold on, chat. Where is it? Where is it? Where is it? Boom. We still in intro mode. Double tap the screen, shut a live out, man. What we doing? But I seen I chicked in the game to win. I love, she loving me again. I let her cry out the bins and they say time heals. I still feel like it was yesterday. How we're moving fast, probably too fast to even catch the play. Spends the night, she pack a bag, right to me, just getting gas. Cover bag, I want it bad. I'ma touch it first, eat it last, it's temporary. Holly damn emotion said it's temporary. My pain deeper than the ocean. Temporary feelings mixed with temporary pleasures. All these temporary moments and these temporary treasures. Temporary circumstances to temporary measures. Temporary friends and even temporary schedules. Temporary smiles and temporary goals. Temporary women sliding on temporary poles. Temporary comments and temporary trolls. I just pray that God bless me. Ain't no temporary souls. I'm a saint, but I sin. I checked in the game to win. I love, she loving me again. I let her cry out the bins and they say time heals. Mine still feel like it was yesterday. How we're moving fast, probably too fast to even catch the play. Spends the night, she pack a bag, right to me, just getting gas. Coming back, I want it bad. I'ma touch it first, eat it last, it's temporary. Holly damn emotion said it's temporary. My pain deeper than the ocean. All right, chat. Y'all ready, man? Oh, man. Double tap the screen, shut a live out. What we doing tonight, chat? Double tap the screen, shut a live out. What we doing tonight, chat? I'm finna bring Mangoes to the stage. We got Mangoes backstage already, man. We finna get into it. Make sure y'all load up, man. Let me get the Discord link posted, man. Mangoes, what it do? Welcome to the stage, man.
Yeah, hey, thanks. Nothing much, man. I was doing more research, keeping an eye on things, and well, this is getting fucking more juicy. Well, so what updates that you know on your end?
As of right now, I took a rest earlier, so when I woke up, I just kind of went live. I haven't really looked at has Kristi Noem spoken out? I can pull up all of that here.
Yeah, I got it right in front of me, and I'll quote her right now. She had a press conference, and this is what she said: An individual approached U.S. Border Patrol's officers with a 9mm semi-automatic handgun. The officers attempted to disarm this individual, but the armed suspect reacted violently. Fearing for his life and for lives of his fellow officers around him, an agent fired defensive shots. Medics were on the scene immediately and attempted deliver medical aid to the subject, but he was pronounced dead at the scene. The suspect also had 2 magazines with ammunition in them that held dozens of rounds. He also had no ID. This looks like a situation where an individual arrived at the scene to inflict maximum damage on individuals to kill law enforcement. With what I'm hearing from the local law enforcement, Christy Nome, and the narrative coming from their end is saying that this guy approached the guy who got shot approached the ICE agents. When you look at the video, you see ICE agents approach this guy. When on their end, they say that he was holding a gun. But what you see in pictures and videos is that he has his cell phone on his right hand with his left hand open, bare hand, nothing on it. There's an angle that where it's very clear, and you can see the guy who's being jumped on. His 2 hands, you know how like a cradle position. Remember, like back in school, they taught you like in a tornado drill, you put your hands together, you tuck your head between your you tuck your head between your hands, and you kind of like get in that position where you're trying to duck or some shit like that. He was in that position, and the officer earlier, from what you were, like he pulled out, yeah, it was in the back pocket, like how you saw it right there. They pulled it out. And after they pulled it out and seized the weapon, they shot him. This is undeniably an execution.
Okay.
It's bad.
I'm going to respond to that, and then I'm going to let Carlos get the floor. I broke down that clip a bunch of times, and at first I agreed with you exactly. He disarmed them, and then the shots rang off. But that's if you slow it all the way down. If you watch it in real time, before the officer is that disarmed the guy, before he's fully turned around, the shots already go off. So they were yelling gun, 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 and they're wrestling for the gun, I'm assuming. And as soon as the officer in the gray got his hands on the gun, before he fully turns around, shots ring off. So with that being said, there's no certainty that he knew that the officer had already disarmed him fully and was turning around. I think it happened so quick. That's my opinion. Carlos, go ahead.
There was an interesting video that Lady Bones just posted on the Discord. It shows the agent that took the gun from him accidentally had a misfire and shot that weapon, and that's when everybody got spooked. Like you can see the recoil on the actual weapon when it goes off. You can see it bounce back.
So he had one in the head. I want to know why they aren't saying his gun was discharged then. I mean, of course we can understand, we can guess why, because they don't want people to know that. But I haven't seen that to where the gun went off. It's believable, but I haven't seen that to confirm it.
Well, Lady Bone posted it in the chat, and it was a sniper that actually points out, look at the actual weapon and look at the ground. You can see the ricochet off the ground and see the gun that go back. So it looks like, although that first round was right when they took that gun, that first round was actually the agent that was taking the gun having a accidental discharge, and that's why it looks like it's right at that same moment.
So with that being said, if a gun went off, whether it was his gun or any of the other officers' guns, that's going to be kind of a knee-jerk reaction. But one officer was already unholstering his weapon. At the same time, he was pulling the gun off a dude, and when you're saying that the gun went off, the other officer was already unholstering his weapon.
Yeah. But that's why it sounds like it's at the same moment, because he had accidental misfire. A discharge, whatever you want to call it.
He's not going on the panel no more. All right. It is what it is, Dorsey. You don't got to be scared, but if you don't want to come, you don't got to. Alan says there's a video from 2 minutes earlier where the guy was in their faces and confronting the ICE officers. I do think the ICE officers were a bit trigger happy. No, he was not confronting the ICE officers We seen the 2-minute video earlier. There were 2 other people confronting the ICE officer. This guy was kind of back. He directed traffic, told the car to come on. The ICE officers came a little bit towards him. He started walking backwards. He was way away from the situation until the ICE officers pushed the 2 people more towards the side of the road. That's when he got in between the ICE officers. But to say he approached the ICE officers with the intent of, inflicting maximum damage, I think that's a false statement. I think if he wanted to inflict maximum damage, he probably wouldn't have tried to, scuffle and do all of that. He would have just took his shots when he had the chance.
I have an issue with there's something I got to point out here, like how I'm going to word this. What doesn't make any sense is that when you hear the narrative about he approached and he don't forget, they're claiming that he was holding, when they say it's linguistics, this morphology, they're morphing this thing into like he had the gun in his hand and he approached the officers. That's exactly what they're saying. When you look at the video, you don't see that. And also another thing, if they saw a gun on his back, like tucked in his pants, they pulled it, and his arms was already clenched right here. Both of his arms, his hands were right there where his head is. There was no immediate threat for them to think that they were in any danger. His hands were neutralized. They seized his hand.
Hold on, man. It says you can't say it's a false statement because we don't know what his intent was. That's impossible to know. Well, how the fuck can she say it's a true statement? How can she say he showed up to inflict maximum damage when the video didn't show that, but I can't say it's a false statement? You'll let Kristi Noem get up there and say he came up to inflict maximum damage when we all watched the shit and that's not what we seen happen. I can't say it's a false statement, but she can say it's a true statement when we don't know what the intent was. What the hell is going on? That you just put your damn foot in your mouth. And Dorsey, you said you can't control your tongue. You don't want to jeopardize my hard work. I do appreciate you being conscious of your mouth, but I don't think that that's an excuse, Dorsey. I think you know how to conduct yourself on a panel. I think you just don't want to. You just want to cuss a motherfucker out sometimes. But if you know how to carry yourself, I don't want to hear that. Go ahead though.
Real quickly, this press statement, go look on Forbes. It's on YouTube. Go Forbes breaking news, and it's going to be in caption. Breaking news, Kristi Noem holds a contentious press briefing following Minneapolis CBP shooting. She says it right there at like a minute and 50 seconds within it, and she talks about it. And you read the transcript. She says it. And not only that, local law enforcement are saying it. It's not we're creating that narrative. We're going off what they're telling us, and what we see is not the case. This is what's really dangerous right now, because here's what's getting dangerous is that when you see a citizen getting shoot up by federal agents, and also new information came out that this guy was actually legal to carry that gun. So they had no reason to speculate that this guy, like Second Amendment, right? This is what these conservatives say. Second Amendment, it's a God-given right. This is something that you heard them a lot saying during the 2020 pandemic when all that unrest was going on, right? Sales went through the roof. Conservatives are about the Second Amendment, yet they're going to eliminate their own argument about the Second Amendment about this guy when he was lawfully carrying a firearm. It doesn't matter where he was.
This is what I'm gonna say. They said somebody in the chat says so he was concealed carrying at a protest, which is unlawful. It says Minnesota law generally allows permit holders to carry firearms in public, including protests, but it's unlawful for a person to carry during a demonstration if they're acting in a way that risks public safety, or if the protest is on prohibited property. I don't think they were protesting. I think that was just an incident that happened. You know what I'm saying? I don't think he was out there protesting. And also, I don't think he was acting in a dangerous way. It wasn't in a dangerous way. I don't think he was acting in a dangerous way. Go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the dangerous thing, because you look at the it's like It's okay. Remember when when radical left were saying Kyle Rittenhouse was a murderer, but yet Kyle Rittenhouse, it was undeniably self-defense. Now they're trying to now you're seeing the right wing doing a similar. It's like a correlate. It's like a lateral perspective, right? When this situation, the left is saying, "Oh, wait a minute, he wasn't even presenting a threat," and now you got the conservatives defending that, as the opposite of what the Kyle Rittenhouse situation.
1 second. 4863 says, I'm a concealed carry and a conservative, and I would not take my firearm with 2 magazines to a protest. Why the fuck not? I'm an American. Why the fuck not? If I want to take if I got a 40 and I want to take it with 2 clips or a 50 round of shit on my motherfucking toilet, that's what I'm going to do. If I want, as long as I don't see a big ass sign that says no firearms allowed in this bitch, I'll take my shit wherever the fuck I see fit with a 50 round on it, a 30, 2 30s, what, I don't know. I don't get it. What you mean, man?
Well, the thing is, it's about what they're really saying, and they're not really understanding what they're saying here, is that they're okay with more authoritarianism, because even though that they argue the Second Amendment and you're able to carry, like, you have more red states that has constitutional carry where you don't need a concealed carry permit to even have it to where you can conceal a weapon. This isn't like an insane argument that these people that you're commenting on, like, if you're about the Constitution, it doesn't matter where the person is while he's concealed to carry. If he's legal, then there's no justification for any federal agent or even a law enforcement officer to engage on that. Since this is the problem with rights and civic duty.
I'm not saying there was a protest. Everybody they keep saying there was a protest. I don't think he was protesting. They said that they were trying to arrest. They said that they were in the middle. From what first went on, they said they were trying to arrest this man, right? They were trying to arrest some other guy, and then this guy got in between. They called Bun Vino said the guy, they were trying to arrest an illegal alien or whatever, and this guy got in between. So I don't think it was a protest. I think it was just an interaction that happened. And people just start pulling out their phones. Because if you look, it wasn't just a fuck ton of people out there. I mean, they had some damn whistles and shit. I think it was one of those neighborhood watches maybe, but an actual protest, like they're out there. I didn't see any signs. I heard a few whistles. That was about it. But I didn't hear any signs, see any signs. I didn't see any marching and shit. It looks like it was just an interaction, man. They were trying to arrest this guy. The people, neighborhood watch, whoever the fuck it is, starts blowing whistles and shit like that, man. I don't think it was a protest. Y'all have the floor.
Not only that, Christy Nome said that he was out there swinging a weapon, threatening them, this and that. So if they knew he had a weapon, why were they so surprised when they were wrestling on the ground? Because that sounded like straight up surprise to me.
That's what I'm saying. Everybody, it's federally illegal to conceal carry at a protest. It was. I don't think it was a fucking protest. Go ahead.
It sounds like they're moving the goalposts.
If it's a protest, where are the signs at? If it's a protest, where are the signs? Only thing I seen that even hinted that there could be a protest was the damn whistles. Literally.
Well, the thing is that if he's lawful to carry a firearm, it doesn't matter where he's at in America, and objectively, he was not presenting a threat. This is a ridiculous argument that these conservatives are taking right now. Again, these are the kind of conservatives are arguing are for ICE in this particular situation, are the ones that are turning radical. This is a very radical position right now that they're taking. It's very alarming. We already got the radical left. We don't need the right to get fucking radical. I mean, there's only enough room for one radical party in America. It's ridiculous.
Okay, we got a new guest to the stage, Infinite. Welcome to the stage, Infinite. Everybody on the Plug Station channel, look at the pinned comment. If the audio is not good for you, come to the Debate Nation channel. That's where we host all the panels. The audio will be a lot clearer on the Debate Nation channel. Everybody on Debate Nation right now, be sure to subscribe to the channel. We are chasing 1,000 subscribers. Infinite, welcome to the stage.
Good evening, gentlemen. How are you?
I'm doing well, and yourself?
I'd be doing better if I wasn't about to deal with this snow that's coming to Philly, but what can you do? You can't control the weather. That whole shooting in Minneapolis today. It I I believe it's a strong arm tactic because Pam Bondi sent a letter to the governor of Minnesota or some official in Minnesota saying that ICE will stay in Minnesota and they'll leave once they give up their voter data info to the federal government, which sounds like straight up extortion to me. And
But
that
I
should be
thought
that
Doge
people are
already
okay.
got that. I thought Doge already got that. Didn't they
No,
just
no,
charge?
Doge never got the voter data info from several of these states. But that sounds she wrote out a letter, so that's straight up extortion.
I didn't know
Usually,
about the letter, but I did remember that 2 individuals were charged with those. I think the Hatch Act. They let a third party. They sold the voter roll data and Social Security Administration data to a third party.
wouldn't be surprised if it was Palantir or Mossad. That's just me. But but the fact that you would have the audacity to even write a letter like that, she should be brought up on grounds of impeachment immediately right now. And
That's the
even if they
thing.
don't
I
get
don't
her
think
federal, even
that's
if
the
they don't
thing.
get
They're all going to be impeached if the Democrats win in the midterms. That's why everything in the timeline is accelerated. I'm going to keep saying that everything that's going to happen, that they want to happen, is going to happen before November because they are all at risk of going to fucking jail. They've been trying to impeach Trump. What's the guy from Houston? From Houston, the black guy? He's been trying to impeach Trump forever.
Al Green.
Pam, yeah, Al
Green,
Green.
yeah.
Pam Bondi asked they want to impeach her about the damn Epstein files. You got Christy Nome right now doing all of this shit. Everybody, Bongino went back home to podcast, and Cash Patel ass is on the line. They'll all be fucking impeached. The only one that'll be left is the McMahon woman.
Oh, but here's the thing. Trump can pardon you from federal crimes, but those state level charges that they want to bring, because they can still get her for extortion at the state level, and that's not pardonable. Only a governor can pardon those type of crimes.
What's up, Kate? And Kate, I need you to go to the backup channel. It's in the pinned comment where it says better audio. That's on Debate Nation. I'm restreaming the Debate Nation stream to the Plugstation stream. Everybody come over here to the Debate Nation, and you'll hear a lot better audio. And we trying to get the 1K. So Kate, I need you to come on over here.
So totally random. Real question. Anybody watch the Jasmine Crockett debate today?
I did
No, I
not. Who
was
did she debate? Tell Caro, tell Rico.
Yeah.
I have not watched it. We'll watch it in the morning. Don't tell me.
I didn't
I
watch it.
wanted
I
to-
was preparing for the storm. So
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
watch
that's
it in the
fair.
morning. Don't tell me. I want to get a live reaction.
I want to address something right here with a couple of chatters. Zach Brinkoff, 324, and August O Prism Omega. So they put United States Code Section 930, Federal Law, United States Code Section 231 prohibits transport firearms while knowing or intending they will be used in a civil disorder. Yeah, the caveat is knowing or intending to they will be used in a civil disorder. When my question is to those people, point out in the video where the guy was actually acting aggressive, like lunging, shouting, threatening. What was the objective metric for you to determine that he was intending to create civil disorder? Please answer me that question.
I will answer you that question.
No, for the two chatters, for the two people. Yeah,
no,
like,
I got you, Mangos. But to keep the show moving forward, let me be the one to read the comments. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can respond to them, but let me moderate. We only need one moderator.
Oh, my bad, dude.
Nah, you good. You can respond, but just keep it smooth. But
I got you.
I'll let what they're gonna use is when he got in between the people. When he tried to protect the person that was in the brown, that's what they're gonna use. They're gonna say that's when he got in the way. As far as him recording the phone, doing all of those things, I don't think that they can use that against him. But once he didn't immediately get all the way out of the way when they were, He was being a stand-up guy. He just seen a person get pushed to the fucking ground, shoved to the ground. The other person is about to get shoved to the ground. So he, steps in and like kind of uses his body as a shield. He ends up getting pepper sprayed and then pepper sprayed again. That is what they're going to use to say he was being violent or impeding or the discourse. That's what they're going to bank their bottom dollar on. But even that right there does not match the narrative that he's a deranged person that went over there to shoot up the fucking scene. That it just doesn't match.
No, and then they already had him restrained. If you're already restrained, then there's no reason to unload a clip on somebody on the ground. If they are,
Agreed.
Well, that's what I found interesting. They have to justify every bullet, not an incident, not I'm getting my clip out. They have to justify every single bullet that comes out that gun. How do they justify 12, 11, whatever amount of bullets it was?
Well, one thing they're gonna use is law enforcement. It's rather common for law enforcement to empty their clip. When they have to use their firearm, it's rather common for them to keep shooting that motherfucker to the clip. I had a situation in my home state where a guy ended up taking the police on he had shot a guy around the courthouse and ended up taking the police on a high-speed chase. And when they caught him, I believe maybe every officer that pulled up unloaded the clip. I know for sure they said he got shot at least 25 times. So this is something that is rather common when law enforcement discharges their firearm. They normally put a lot of lead in there.
Yeah. Hold on a second. Let me make sure I find it, because there's an experiment that happened. It was the Stanford experiment where they had a bunch of college students in Stanford and they simulated an environment of a prison. So they took like two groups, prisoners and guards. And the conclusion of the study was that people who are given power are more likely to abuse it because what caused that conclusion is because they had to end the experiment early because there was a lot of brutal abuse of power that was happening. Why I'm bringing this up? The reason why I'm bringing this up, that I'm thinking that most of these ICE agents are just starting to be trigger happy, or like not trained, disciplined people that can actually rationally think. Like, that's what it seems like, that these guys are
it's not even up for debate. Like, we've seen these guys dapping each other up afterwards and saying, good job, and we not all ICE officers are like that, but there is a faction. There are people who sign up.
Yeah.
Just like some people are in bad situations where they're living a street life and they sign up to the military. Like, damn, if I'm gonna shoot somebody, let me do it legally. Let me get paid for it. Same situation. It's just domestic now.
The issue we have here is that it's not just a poison apple, it's diseased trees. But we got to get rid of the whole orchard.
So this is what I'm gonna say too. How do y'all feel about this? A lot of people are saying they don't think the spending bill goes through after this.
So what?
I wouldn't go for it. I think it still goes through.
The spending bill is supposed to go through. It already passed the House. The Senate has to sign off on it, then it goes to Trump. Them saying that they don't think that they're gonna want to give DHS all of this money after this has happened, without them wanting to drop the mask, because that was a big thing that they had. The House passed it to where the agents could keep the mask, but they had to they're putting $20 million to get the body cams, $2 million for de-escalation training, and they have to wear regular ICE clothes unless they're undercover. That was what was in the bill. I don't know if it's gonna go through now, because they want to give $64 billion to DHS. And want to let them keep the mask. I think the mask is going to be a bigger issue with the Senate Democrats after this situation.
I'll say this much: let's assume that they pass this bill, logistics is going to be an issue, and there probably going to be a delay. Like, even though they may pass it, it's not going to be an immediate fix. It's probably going to take several months before you see ICE agents be able to have that supply to where they're able to do those things. You know, you got to think there's a lot of ICE agents. This is pretty much I don't expect the government to well plan it like they have X amount on standby so they can go ahead and distribute it to these agents. I think it's going to be a lot longer than people want to expect for them to have those means, you know?
Yeah, so the bill was supposed to be signed by the 31st. Today's the 24th. So we're less than a week away from when the government is shut down. Right at a week, maybe, from when the government is shut down. If it's not passed by Friday, I think the government shuts down.
What's the
I
name of
think
the
it goes
bill?
through.
I don't know the exact name of it,
It's
but
one of
it's
the
1.6 trillion is what they're trying to spend.
It goes through. They sit on the 20 million for a couple months for the cameras. They don't get the cameras.
Okay. Kate, welcome in, Kate. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Everybody on the Debate Nation channel, subscribe. Everybody in Plug Station, I know you guys can hear me well, but if you want to hear the panelists well, please come to the Debate Nation channel. It's the pinned comment. It's the pinned comment. Go to that channel. The audio will be 1,000 times better, and we need you to get subscribers over there as well. Dorsey, welcome to the stage. You're muted. Dorsey, you're
What's
muted.
Hey, I'm here, Plug, but I'm gonna be in the back, okay? I'm gonna try to control myself.
All right, turn that other phone down for me. You said he had 2 clips and $1,000 pistol. Why? Because he fucking can. Why? What is going on? Where are the balls out here, man? I've never seen so many people, so many fucking Republicans clutching their damn pearls because a man was carrying. And not only was he carrying, he was carrying some nice shit. You mad because his SIG was a little bit prettier than your fucking beat up ass clock you got over there, man. Like, what the hell is going on? He was carrying because he fucking can. And he had an extra clip because, do I sell rock? No, I don't. And he had an extra clip in case a motherfucker ran out. This is every day. This is every day in the South. Every day in the South. You're going to see people with fucking 50 rounds on them, 30 rounds on them, extra clips, truck guns. It's just what's going on. What do we mean? We gonna
Plug, didn't Biggie say keep extra clips for extra shit? Who's next to clip?
shit is fucking crazy, bro.
I'm supposedly liberal, and I carry an extra clip with me.
Come on,
Why?
and if you don't
You ain't
want to
gotta
carry
stay
an
right
extra
here.
clip, what do? You put 2 clips in one. You go get you a damn 50 round, man, or you go get you a 30 or a 75 on a Drake. Man, before I got my gun range took me, I used to have a 75 on a damn Drake and a 30 in the FN. I got damn 100 shots in this bitch, man. We're gonna shoot all day if we have to.
But it's ironic that supposedly the Second Amendment cheer squad is now saying that he shouldn't have used the Second Amendment.
Yeah, no shit. Yeah, like where in the fuck is your where's your gung ho Second Amendment shit, you guys? What are you talking about? Right to bear arms,
Y'all mad
unenfringed.
at this man because he had a pretty ass SIG 9 with the fucking pearl handle, but let Gavin Newsom win presidency in 2028 and he tries to sign that executive order on that assault rifles ban. Everybody gonna be fucking crying. But right now, he shouldn't have had his damn pistol on him. Man, what?
He can carry legally, then let him carry.
I'm saying he's 21 years old, man. As long as you 21, man, he was in the open carry state. They said he could have had his concealed carry license. I don't think it was a protest. The only thing y'all are debating right now is he shouldn't have been carried at a protest. I don't think he showed up as a protest. I think it was an incident that people pulled up on.
But is that even a law? Because I was just Googling
if we're
it.
gonna sit here, and this is the thing that I have with the conservatives right now, the Republicans. I ain't gonna say conservatives, Republicans, is that I'm gonna hear y'all opinion before I spill the beans. Go ahead.
Okay, Plug, can I speak?
Go ahead.
Go on.
Okay. This is why FBAs don't get involved with Tether's mess. That man sacrificed his life to defend his fellow Americans. Okay? Where are the Somalis? Where are the people this whole protest is about? Nowhere to be seen.
That protest was about Renee Good. Well, it wasn't even a protest, but that was a ICE incident. To see, if you listen to what Bonvino said, there were nobody has said there was a protest. The only people that are saying he was protesting is the fucking chat. If you listen to what Bonvino and them said, they said it was an incident to where they were trying to make an arrest. So was it a protest or was it an arrest? Because two things can't be the same. They're not out here protesting this fucking arrest, man. They wasn't out there. There were no picket signs. There were no chanting going on. It was a fucking few whistles because they got neighborhood watches and shit, man. Bonvino said that they were in the middle of picking up an illegal, and this guy intervened. So what the hell where is the protest coming from? Out of y'all ass? Y'all are pulling this protest shit out of y'all ass.
And this is why the FBAs are standing out of this. Because regardless of what our intents are, good or bad, they are always going to lie and try to put a spin on everything we do. How many times have FBAs been shot down and not have any weapons on them or haven't did anything? Now you're talking about a man who had a weapon. Whether it's concealed or not, I don't know. But I do know that man was no threat, just like Renee was no threat. But at the same time, why sacrifice yourself over people who are not American?
Do
Who are
you
not
think this man
American?
thought he was
I'm
about to
just
die?
saying, we're
This man
not
didn't think he
American
was
enough
about to
to
die.
fight for their own rights.
I get it, but there wasn't even no black people out there on the scene, so shit, that's really a relevant combo right now. It's really not any black people in Minnesota just doing too much going on. Now you got the Black Panthers talking about going over there, the other Black Panthers, but it's really not even a black situation right now. What it is that lawful gun owners, they're trying to strike fear in the lawful gun owners. The people who can actually walk around and carry, and it's like, oh, if you're legally carrying, you still might get shot in the fucking back. It's crazy.
And that's the hypocrisy that the Republicans have been doing since day one. First they say, oh, you have the right to carry your Second Amendment rights. And then when you do carry and you say one thing that they don't like, they gun you down like a dog. That's why I'm out of it, because I'm not finna go up against a corrupt government, and then when I get gunned down, don't nobody else say shit. No, that's real. And I heard
Hey,
that man worked at the VA and helped out us veterans and so forth. He will be missed. He'll be missed by us. But at the same time, I'm encouraging all Americans, man, stay out of it. If the Somalis ain't gonna fight for their own rights, then why jeopardize your well-being, your job, everything you fought hard and your forefathers fought hard for to waste it? I say it's a waste to go out there. If them people ain't willing to go out there and fight for their rights to stay here, I'm talking about all tethers. They cowards. They fled their countries rather than standing and fight. And then when we come up here and trying to show them the example of how to be an American and how to show democracy, they do the same thing. They run and hide.
All due respect to Doshi, I don't think this is about immigrants or black people or white people or Somalians or anybody else. This is about Americans. So when you break this down, they are violating American rights. Not a black person right, not a white person right, not a Hispanic person right. They are
Okay,
violating American rights.
hey,
Okay,
definitely.
so can I
That's
say
my
something?
argument. One second though, Dorsey. Everybody, I gotta keep directing traffic. Everybody that's on the Plug Station channel, if you want to hear better audio from the panelists, please come to the Debate Nation channel. It's the pent comment. We are 25 subscribers away from the next goal. If you're enjoying this conversation, or if you're just letting it play, hanging out, please subscribe to the channel, both of the channels. Go ahead though. I believe Dorsey had the floor.
Okay, so my thing is, how many how many freedom riders got killed, beaten, harassed, imprisoned, just standing up for the rights of blacks?
Yeah, somebody said Nate the Gen said, I don't know, dude. I'm really not trying to just I mean, I don't know. Nate the Gen said, bro, watch a completely different video than the rest of us if they had him down. He wasn't laid flat down, but yeah, he was like in a fetal position almost. I watched like maybe at least 4 different videos of it. And yeah, he was like in a fetal position. They pepper sprayed him twice and he was, you know, and then they snatched him down. He was in almost a fetal position.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
the man was helpless. The man was subdued. And they had his firearm in their custody and they shot him for resisting. That is the truth of it.
Now, when it comes to the firearm being pulled off of him in the timeline of the shots going off, it was almost instant. So it does before the officer has his back completely turned, walking away with the gun in the silver jacket, the shots were already ringing off. So it's kind of like people are saying that the shots, now whether it was his gun, whether it was the officer's gun, or whether it was a gun that the officer was taking off of him, shots were already going off before he turned his back. So Carlos is saying that people are saying that people investigating the video are saying it was the SIG that went off initially, and the other officers responded. When he was trying to get the gun, he accidentally misfired it, and that's what started it all. But before the officer turned his back, shots were already going off because you could see him before he already turns. He's already flinching before he's turned all the way around.
Yeah, but he flinches because that gun goes off in his hand.
Either way it goes, shots rang off before he was turned around, is what I'm saying.
Hey,
So we
Plug,
can't say the gun was already out of the situation and then the shots rang off. Before his back was turned, shots did ring off.
Plug, the history of America has been that with the KKK and white supremacists, that whoever you take, if you side with the side of black people, Hispanics, immigrants, let's just say immigrants, then you a nigger lover. And they kill you just like they kill us. And that is the truth. Now, y'all don't want to throw that racial. I don't want to hear it because I'm going to throw it in there. It's a racial thing. Those people, the KKK, feel like any white person that defends any person of color, you're a nigger lover and you got to go too. They have said that time and time again, if a race war was to go down, that the nigger lovers would die too. That's being race traitors. That's what they call them.
Okay.
And
If anybody wants to join in on this conversation, I will put the link. I will drop the link. If anybody wants to join in on this conversation.
so I would like to bring something up now. I was looking up this, like, okay, so you saw chat dropped the 18 U.S. Code section 903, possession of firearms and dangerous weapons in federal facilities. So the law that they're bringing up on the chat that you see is not even applied to the situation. They're trying to say that, oh, this is the reason why, and this is why we're okay with ICE agents shooting this man. No, the law that they're very quoting in chat is actually about possessions and possession of firearm in federal facilities, not a peaceful protest or anything. This is, my God, false categorization policy at its finest on that one. What the fuck are these people doing? I'll tell you what.
Thank you for that, man.
Come up on panel. Come up on panel real
There's
time.
videos of people sitting there with ARs during protests. I mean, this is not nothing new. In
Yeah,
Minnesota
why don't
over the
they
last
go
week or
after
so.
them like how they did this guy? You know, it's like, come on, bring
What I'm
yourself
saying
on.
is this: they do KKK rallies, and everybody got ARs up. They got the Black Panther rallies AR'd up. They do all kind of what would be considered protest, and people are, you know, AR the fuck up.
I just wish somebody who says that ICE is justified will come up on panel and defend their views real time. Like we'll give them like, you know, I know you'll let them speak and put their point of view out. I would like to debate that person because there's a lot of semantics here that we're not addressing, and they won't come up here and defend their views.
They're saying he was a VA. Allegedly, the guy was a legal carrier and a VA. What was he? A VA something for the VA.
He worked with like vets at
He
the
was
VA. I
a
don't know if he was a
emergency
nurse or
nurse.
A VA emergency nurse is what
Yeah.
they're saying he was, because they said I want to know who this guy was and what was he about. Say he's a lawful carrier and he was a VA nurse.
Well,
You said, when was the last KKK rally? Tell me where I can see it. They just had one in Arkansas like 3 months ago. They just had a neo-Nazi rally in Little Rock, Arkansas, maybe 2 or 3 months ago. We covered it over here. So what are you talking about? This was fucking within the last 6 months. They just had one in Little Rock, Arkansas. They marched all the way down to MLK. They went on MLK in Little Rock. What the hell is we talking about?
oh, that bill you're talking about is HR 7006. It's called the Financial Service and General Government and National Security Department of State and Related Programs Appropriation Act 2026. It was introduced January 13th, 2026. Representative Cole Tom, Republican, Oklahoma, District 4.
This man said, how many people? They did one in Hot Springs as well not too long ago. Now he's moving the goalposts. When was the last KKK rally and where was it? I tell you that. Now you're talking about how many people was it? USA has 250 million citizens. Well, I can tell you,
Google does exist.
hold on, let me finish. About 30 motherfuckers walking around with ARs can do a lot of damage. 30 hate-filled motherfuckers walking around with ARs can do a lot of damage. 40 hate-filled motherfuckers can do a lot of damage. So what does it mean? What does it mean? I'm saying if we're going to talk about people carrying at a protest, the whole argument was you cannot be carrying at a protest, right? So I'm saying, how is that true when we see motherfucking rallies and all kind of shit where people walking around with ARs? That's all I said. I don't know why you I don't know. Go ahead.
And also, different states have different carry laws. Some states they'll let you carry a long gun. Some states will let you fully open carry handguns. So every state's different. So you got to check the laws in your state for what you can and cannot do. Secondly, dang, I forgot my second point. Anyway, but like I said, sometimes you can, like particularly down south, they might let you carry long guns and shotties. Some states like Texas, you can fully open carry, same as Florida, but you just got to check the rules in your jurisdiction.
All right, I'm back. All right, chat. Double tap the screen, shut the live out. We are 25 subscribers away from the next sub goal. If you can't hear the audio on Plug Station, be sure to come over to Debate Nation channel. It is the pinned comment. You said, why would a terrorist work with sick veterans? Exactly. Go ahead, though. I'm going to leave the floor open. Should Tim Walz send in the guard now is another question that I had as far as one of the topics. Should Tim Walz send in the National Guard now?
I wouldn't do that as of yet because that's going to cause more problems than it solves because ICE people already don't know how not to be trigger happy. And if you pull on like National Guard people, they're taught one shot, one killed. These ICE people, they're just unloading clips, and you don't want to have a active gun battle in the streets between National Guard and between one federal agency and people called to active service. It's just a bad look all around. It's not going to be any winners in that situation.
Well, my question is, Plug, Why would Tim Walz want to deploy the National Guard in Minnesota?
To to keep Trump from invoking insurrection.
So not to prevent ICE from targeting people, but to assist ICE?
Both. Both.
Okay.
Everything would be working in that situation. It would be to bring down the temperature. Tim Walz said his National Guard will have reflective safety vests on so they're not confused with the ICE agents, and alongside of that, it will show that he's actively trying to get keep the situation under control. I honestly think I said it earlier, a couple people called in. I think that Tim Walz should use the leverage that Tom Homan gave him and just open up the jails, man. Let them come into the jails. If people go to jail, I'm sorry, it kind of is what it is, whether it's a domestic drinking, whatever. Let them go into jails, get them. And in response, Tim Walz should ask for them to cut down the ICE force by 2/3. Y'all got 3,000 agents here, send 2,000 of them home, and we'll open up the jails. It'll be a lot less violence, a lot safer for Americans.
You know, I was actually reading up on that, and they actually do notify ICE.
Minnesota does.
Yes.
Minneapolis does.
Yep.
Well, I don't know then.
Plug, can I speak?
Well, they got to be.
They were saying 1 out of 5. Sorry, Dorsey. Give me 1 second. They were saying 1 out of 5 people that they're picking up in the streets have no record. So it has nothing to do with actually notifying ICE when they get arrested, because they actually do notify ICE.
What do you mean they have no record?
I mean, they have no
This
record.
is what goes on in Arkansas. In Arkansas, your ass get some interaction with law enforcement. You go into the county jail, you might not even have a new charge. It's just gonna say hold for ICE. And ICE has 48 hours to come get you. I guess in Arkansas, they're going to get them.
Okay,
like right now, if you look on Arkansas jailbirds and all of those pages where they post the arrest shit, every day you're going to see quite a few people in there, and their only thing that they have is ICE hold.
No, I get that, but they're like what I was reading earlier, because I wanted to actually like investigate that, like search it up and actually figure it out. They were saying 1 in 5 of the people that they're actually picking up from the streets have no record whatsoever. So even if they were to open up the jails, it wouldn't make a difference.
How? Because we have them. Yes, it would, Carlos. If we made interaction with them, regular law enforcement, we see that they have ISO. We take them to jail, and ICE picks them up. I just don't understand how that's not gonna stop the violence that's going on.
Yeah, but
if we're about, because we got to be honest, if we're gonna call it all the way out, they're saying, the right is saying everybody that they're going after is PDFs, violent, and doing all that. We're seeing that a lot of these people being arrested, like you say, have no criminal history or whatever. So same situation. If those people are gonna get deported or anyway, shit, you might as well just let local law enforcement do it. When they do come in there, if they don't have a criminal history, shit, they still got an ICE hold. It is what it is.
No, but they don't have an ICE hold. You can only have an ICE hold if you get arrested. So they don't even have an ICE hold.
I disagree. The reason why I disagree is when you go to your immigration hearing and they revoke your license, whatever it is, visa, whatever it is, you are to leave.
Carlos
if you do not comply,
Carlos's argument is these people never went to an immigration hearing. Like, they just here.
Yeah, or they have legal status.
No, I'm not even talking about legal status. I'm not talking about legal status. I'm talking about they have no record.
He's
They
saying
have never.
they're completely undocumented. They've had no contact with law.
Yes, no contact with law
and
enforcement.
I'm saying that they ass should still get an ICE hold put on them and get deported. If we want violence to go down, if we don't want all of these, something is gonna have to give. Both sides cannot stand their feet in the ground and we expect something to change. If we want the ICE to get cut down by half or 2/3, then shit, somebody has to come to the table. But it
That's
has to be
fine.
a combo. It has to
That's
be, hey, we're arresting these people. Y'all aren't coming to get them. Look, come get them. Get the fuck out the city. Something. It needs to be, the conversation has to be had. Otherwise, this is going to keep on going, leading up into the midterms, and it's going to be a very, very bad situation for not only Minnesota, not only Minneapolis, but a lot of the country.
that's fine. But what I'm saying is they weren't in custody. They've never been arrested. So how are they gonna tell ICE to come pick them up if they never had them in their custody?
Carlos, in California, when somebody was stopped by the police, whether it's for a traffic ticket or anything, they are asked, "Are you a U.S. citizen?" If they say no, they're not, then they ask them, "Do they have a visa or proof of being able to stay here?" If they do not have proof, they are then detained and they are taken down to the county jail, and ICE comes, Border Patrol comes and pick them up and deport. Now,
That's
understand this. 1,000,001 notices went out to all these illegal aliens, or the people who Biden had put on temporary status, to show up to court to have their hearing. If you do a failure to appear, just like every American citizen, if you do not show up to court, you are found guilty until you appear before the judge. But immigration has the right to revoke your stay here, and you are to be escorted to the border or shipped off to wherever you come from.
See, the
That
problem with
is
that, Dorsey, is that if American citizens don't have their can have not have their ID on them, and I don't have to answer to a law enforcement officer my status, because that the Fourth Amendment states that I should be secure of my property, persons, papers, and effects. And one of my effects is my identity and my nationality. You don't need to know that. That applies to all
can I
persons,
ask you
not all
something?
citizens. It
Can
applies to
I ask
all
you
persons in
something?
the you may ask,
Do you look Somali?
I look African because I'm dark skinned, and I've been fucked with by cops, and they tried to run me through ICE before. So
Okay.
and I didn't appreciate that not one bit.
Okay, I mean, I didn't appreciate when the cops stopped me when they said there was a suspect and he was black, and they stopped me and I didn't do nothing. But once I just stayed there and they did their little thing,
I mean,
they
violating
then
our civil
released
rights.
me.
I mean,
Now,
violating civil
once
rights.
again, we're not talking about an immigrant that got shot. We're talking about an American citizen who didn't mind his business.
And hold on, Dorsey, I got to push back because I wanted to Google this before I pushed back on you. Actually, California does not ask about citizenship status when being pulled over.
Well, we're talking about before the Democrats went crazy and stated that it's a sanctuary city. I remember going to county jail 1,000,001 times, and when they were calling people to be released, they would go ahead, give us our clothes, and then they would tell the Mexicans, "Hey, you got to go over into that cell because you are being deported."
That has nothing to do with my statement, though. What I'm saying is they were never stopped, they were never arrested, they were never detained. They have no
When
record.
you say they ain't getting stopped, then how you think them people going? How if they're being stopped? It ain't being stopped in the past. They're being stopped in the present. We're talking about now. Hey, I see your car. I'm racially profiling you, and I'm pulling you over to see if you're an American citizen. That is what it is, racial
But that's
profiling.
why I'm
And that's what,
saying
if you look Somali, they gonna pull you over.
But that's why I am saying the detainment argument is a fallacy argument because none of them have been detained. Not none of them, but a large portion of them have never been detained before. So it doesn't matter. Even if they opened up the jails, they weren't in jail to get picked up.
But my thing is, if you have had Trump told them you no longer have temporary refugee status, so that means you are in violation of the immigration laws and you got to go.
And what if you just happen to be like a black or brown person that's a U.S. citizen that quote unquote fits the description, because fits the description has caused more problems than it's solved, and they decide, oh, you ain't got your ID, we're just gonna throw you in the lockup and in the detainment. I
Dude, do you know how many?
articulable suspicion and absent probable cause. It's
Okay,
still a
well,
violation of your
understand
civil
this.
rights.
Y'all didn't address it 20 years ago when it was happening to us, FBAs. Nobody was talking about that then. When we kept on saying over and over again, we are being racially profiled because we fit the description of a suspect. Well, if you fit the description of a suspect, the law enforcement has the right to make the inquiry.
Absent.
What's up, Marvin?
And if you refuse to cooperate, they put you in the car, you go downtown, they put you down as John Doe, and they run your fingerprints.
But they have to suspect you of a crime.
They then will they will go ahead and identify you, and then you have an identity. But you at no time, and we're talking about American citizens, ain't no time do we get deported because we citizens here.
Okay. Laurie, welcome in, Laurie. Everybody double tap the screen, share the live out. We are 25 subscribers away from the next sub goal. I need everybody to subscribe to the channel. If you're on the Plug Station channel and you can't hear the audio, you want to hear it better, come to Debate Nation with 2 N. It is the pinned comment in the chat. The audio is 1,000 times better over here, I promise you. Go ahead.
But see, the irony in that is me as a U.S. citizen have the right not to identify myself, but then they could try to say I didn't identify myself, so I must not have papers.
Yeah, and the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania is not a right to ID state. So, absent reasonable articulable suspicion or probable cause, ask me for my ID. If I'm just walking down the street minding my business, is a violation of my civil rights. I'm a natural-born American citizen. I don't use that term FBA. I'm a natural-born American citizen, black man. So, you think that you're the only person that's had to deal with the cops harassing them? But the cops can try and disappear you into immigration if you just don't have your ID on you at that time because you were just going to the store to go get yourself something to snack on, and you don't have your ID on you. And if they want, they could try and disappear you and get you lost in the sauce in immigration hell. I've heard there have been multiple cases of this over the past few years where I've seen where black men have been deported to like Haiti or kicked out of the U.S.
But those aren't black. That's the difference, though. But those aren't black men. Those are Haitians.
No. They were black men, but they got thrown into the system because they had no criminal record. So having no criminal record, they wouldn't be able to identify you if they ran your prints anyway. Correct?
Shit, hell no. If you got a birth certificate, and it show what hospital you was born in, hell no. I don't know what's going on.
You're not understanding. The Fourth Amendment says that you should be secure in your papers and your effects. One of your effects is your identification. I shouldn't have to tell cops shit if I'm just walking down the street, minding my business, and if I just don't have my ID on me at the time because I'm just walking to the store and the cops were being dicks and they want to be extra special dicks and try and disappear you in the immigration system for no good damn reason.
But I
That
think
shows people's lives in hell.
that might be a problem for some individuals. But I'm just saying, as a Black American, like I don't know, man. I mean,
I'm
shit,
darker
I
skinned,
can name
so I
because
catch I catch a certain better hell.
a lot of times too, you can name the damn hospital you was born in. You know, like there's a lot. I don't think they're just taking now. Maybe first generation or naturalized somebody who came over. Maybe they do try to denaturalize somebody. But if you were born in an American hospital, man, I don't think that's going on. Especially if your parents are FBA. That's why we say as an FBA, we do look at things a little bit differently because just like with the Latino community, the Latinos, they're all looked at as, it's a Latino community, but you got Mexicans, Guatemalans, Salvador, all of those. You got the white community. You got Russians, Italians, Germanians, all of that. Then you got the Black community, Haitians, and all, but there's infighting. Like the Haitians and the Jamaicans, yeah, there's some good people that love everybody, but there are Haitians. I've been in really heated arguments with Haitians, and the first thing that they call me is the hard ER. You know what I'm saying? So it's just kind of crazy to identify that all together for me.
Like I said, I'm just speaking on my lived experience.
Yeah, but
We
to say
all
it's not
have
happening,
different
plug. I mean,
experiences.
to say it's not happening, we have seen videos, Lala and Essence be posting on the Discord that it's happening, where Black Americans, FBAs, are being picked up.
See, picked up is different than deported. He said that these people were being sent back to Haiti. I'm like, how are niggas being sent back to Haiti?
Because
They're Haitians.
because law enforcement is racist as hell, and
ICE is not law enforcement. They're
that's right.
immigration enforcement.
Yeah. He's right
They're
about
thugs
that.
with badges. That's what they are. No, they don't even wear badges. My mistakes. They're just thugs authorized by the government.
They're just federal agents. They're not even law enforcement officers. There's a fundamental difference between the two.
Yeah.
Don't you guys understand what do you know what a federal agent is?
That's anybody authorized and deputized by the federal government.
A federal
treasury
agent
officer is a federal agent.
Check this out. A federal agent is 007, licensed to kill on behalf of the United States government. And if you want to play all them semantic games, but that is the cold, hard facts. They have the right to snuff you, and they have the backing of the U.S. government.
Hey, Dorsey, let me ask you a question.
No, I don't. No. Don't ask me.
All right, I'll tell you what. I'll ask you anyways. You can choose not to answer. No wrong answers. Okay.
I'm gone, plug.
Damn.
Right.
No,
Right,
I was
plug,
actually. Here's the question. All right. Does anybody remember what happened in Philly in May 13th, 1984?
It was 1985. It was the MOVE bombing. I saw it live on TV when I was a 10-year-old. I remember that acutely aware, where Philly cops firebombed the MOVE house and let 61 houses burn down because they wouldn't let the fire department get in to do their job and put the fires out. 11 people died in that fire. Yes, I remember that acutely aware.
Who else remembers the Waco incident back in '93?
Oh, and Branch Davidian, yeah.
So, this actually proves Dorsey's point, though. They got a license to kill, and the federal government will kill you if they will it. It's not fucking good. I was trying to angle to support Dorsey's claim because he ain't wrong about what he said. A license to kill.
Well, what's understood don't really need to be said. I mean, of course, the federal government has a license to kill. They've been killing people for generations. I mean, people of
All
all
right,
colors. Let's move to
hold
combo
on.
one.
Plugcation channel. I'm about to end this live on Plugcation. Y'all all come to Debate Nation. This live on Plugation is gonna end right now. Everybody come over to Debate Nation. Go ahead, guys.
Oh, I was just saying, Plug, you want to move to another topic?
We talked about Justified. We talked about Shatim Wall sending the National Guard. Yeah, we can just have an open floor now. Go ahead.
Oh, okay. I really hope that they aren't going to try and play around with these major storms and not give states and communities the FEMA coverage that they're going to need if you get massive freezing or you get ice flooding and things like that, because that'll be disastrous. And you know Trump doesn't like to give out FEMA funds for whatever reason, but he can give $40 billion to Argentina.
Yeah, I think they already sent. I think Arkansas, Louisiana, and some other states have already secured emergency funding.
Yeah, he's only going to supposedly hold it from Democratic states.
That's so petty and vindictive and just needlessly cruel. But he's a petty, vindictive man. So, I mean, I just don't get it. It's like, just you can give all that extra money to the DHS and the ICE, but you can't give it out for true disasters.
So hold on, Plug. Do you think Trump tries to federalize the National Guards?
We're going to try. He already has several cases in the courts right now. Illinois sued him. California sued him. Minnesota's probably going to join suit and sue him. And there have been a couple cases that have been working their way through the Ninth Circuit and Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals about him trying to federalize the National Guard. That's why he's trying to he's trying to set conditions to invoke the Insurrection Act. He's trying to provoke citizens to get out there so he can say, "Oh, look at all this crime and going on," so he can invoke the Insurrection Act, so he can invoke putting the National Guard or active military out on the streets. That's what he's been trying to do for ever since he got back in office.
Okay. Yeah, I think if they don't want that to happen, Tim Walz has to go and send the National Guard in. Right now it's in Tim Walz's hand, in my opinion.
Got to be smart about that. Got to be very smart, because if one of those National Guards member shoot ICE, a federal agent, well, they're both kind of like are or not federal agent, but you got to be very fucking careful, because that's authorized by the state authority, not the federal. So if it happens, I'll reserve my other opinions until it happens, and I'll go from there with that one. Murky waters, though. Murky waters.
I think he tries to federalize him to be able to cut Waltz off.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I don't know which circuit Minnesota's in, so I don't know if and I don't know how that case is going so far with Illinois. I haven't had a chance to keep up with that one, but there is a case that J.B. Pritzker brought against this administration for trying to federalize National Guard and send them into Chicago. So don't be surprised if Oakland's next. And what he needs to do with this whole ICE thing, I'm like, if you want to wreck the economy right before the World Cup, go right at it, because having ICE agents roam in your major cities during an international sports competition, not a good look. Not a good look at all. And people are already boycotting and not choosing not to buy tickets in the U.S. They're choosing to like either go to Canada to go see matches in Canada or down to Mexico City versus coming to the U.S. for World Cup matches. And that's
Yeah, I
messed up.
saw that there's a massive decrease for the World Cup tickets. There's a bunch of tickets available right now.
A bunch of
And
tickets available. That's soccer, right?
yes,
Yeah, Americans don't watch soccer like that. That shit was gonna be available.
Yeah, right. Those tickets go for like what, $5-6 grand?
Hey, we
Yeah.
got fucked in the last one. I stopped watching it after the referees fucked us with the Wales match. That was bullshit.
well, I'm talking about the international fans who were planning on making trips to the U.S. Not so much American fans, because the international fans will come out and fly to city to watch their team. But if it was a less than welcoming presence, I wouldn't blame them for not leaving their couches.
Plug, can I speak?
Go ahead.
Los Angeles hosted the World Cup back, I think it was in the 80s.
94.
And okay, 94. And we took in almost 1.5 million people who came to Los Angeles to see their team. They were from Africa, Mexico, Brazil, the elimination matches, all that. And we made money. I was selling bootleg t-shirts on a corner to everybody. I had 12 different countries selling them for $20 a piece, making money, and them people was happy to be here. Now that Trump has done what he's done, people feel uncomfortable coming here and spending money. And that's just the truth.
And it'll be the same way in 2028 for the Olympics in LA.
Don't care. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Yeah, I'm gonna come out there. I'm gonna bring some shirts out there, man, and some Patti LaBelle pies, man. We're gonna sell them bitches $7 a slice.
Hey, I got a good idea for you though. You want to make some money?
Yeah, we're gonna sell them Patti LaBelle pies, $7 a slice. We're gonna be catching. Oh my God, everybody be hold on, man. Motherfucker got it. I'm finna bring y'all back up, man. Y'all hold on right quick, man. We gotta bring my dog up, man. We gotta clear the stage for this shit. Puzzles, what it do?
What's up, my guy? Chilling?
Man, it's been a long time, boy. Good to see you, man.
Yeah, I'm in the building, man. I'm chilling. How you?
Man, I'm good, man. I just had to, clear the stage to bring you up, man. Give you some respect, man.
For sure.
We good, though, man. We chilling, running up the backup channel, having some good conversations, man.
What up,
How do you feel
Puzzle?
about it, man?
You know,
How do
I'm
you
here.
feel
I got some background, but I'm here.
All right. How do you feel about the ice shooting, man? How do you feel about it? Did you watch it?
All right, so I ain't going to cookie cut it, sugarcoat it, man. We seen this coming. It's the play, and I feel like this another move that push civil unrest, man. I mean, that's truly how I feel about it. I feel like this the play to push that, man.
All right. Well, shit, I'm gonna open the floor back up, man. We just heard from Puzzles.
Oh shit, it's Puzzles.
What's up, Carlos?
Chill.
Who the fuck is this guy? I'm just fucking with you, bro. What's up? No? Okay.
I think you had to call or something.
No, I was trying to put a picture up. That's all. I'm here. I hear you. What's up, Mr. Bruce?
Did you watch
Nothing
the
much,
video,
no,
though,
bro.
Puzzles?
Bro, hold on. I'm sorry, Puzzle. What you said is what I've been screaming about, the Manchurian effect. That's exactly what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
On point, bro. All right, I'll shut up. Go ahead, buddy. I stole your shot. Yeah.
No, you good, bro. This for everybody to shine. You already know. Plug ain't worrying about it, but
I'm high as fuck, to be fair
I
with you.
really feel like that. I really feel like that's the notion. That's the reason for all this. And at the end of the day, if you really paying attention to what's going on outside, look at the states. Look at all the states that the shootings. Look at all the states that the ICE situation is happening. And 9 times out of 10, I'm not trying to be on no political stuff, but there's a lot of blue states that's getting like ICE situations. George Floyd. I live in a blue state myself. That's why I'm saying it. But I believe the shooting was in Minnesota. Am I correct?
Yes, it was.
That's a blue state. Am I correct?
Yes, it
Yeah,
is.
it's a progressive state.
I'm telling you right now, I wouldn't be surprised in the next 30 days if Philadelphia wouldn't be the next they get one of them type shooters, man. Because it's going down. They just had ICE close down a whole church and something else, I believe, down like North Philly. So
Oh yeah,
That's
they tried to
next.
run up in the church in North Philly, and that didn't work out for them.
I was watching the
they
report, so
tried. That's what I'm saying. They tried to shut down that church in North Philly, and they got right now in Philadelphia in Northeast, they got the Black Panthers movement in Northeast. In New York, they got another Black Panther movement in New York. Different sets. So just pay attention to what's going on in your state right now. It might not be what it seemed like it is. That's all I'm saying. Like it might seem like it's a play to promote or push a certain type of energy, in my opinion. But at the same time, the Black Panther movement, they only go into certain states. If you pay attention to what states they go in, they all blue.
I want to say something, Puzzle. I want to share an idea with you, and I want you to tell me what you think of this. With everything that's been going on with the polarization in this country, and the last 4, 6, 8 years, there's just been a continuing escalation between both sides of the political spectrum. With everything coming to where it's at right now, I'm not sure if you're fluent in history, but tell me this if you're comfortable with answering this question. With everything going on and how polarized, wouldn't you say that you can see a correlation with how we're entering into 1860 territory with everything going on right now in America?
I mean, I'm gonna say this. You know what a totalitarian society is?
A what?
Totalitarian.
Yeah, society.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
That's what we pushing towards.
And what people want to go back to
It's gonna
1860.
happen before the midterms, man.
They want to take it back to 1860, but I don't think it's going to get
why do you say
there,
it before the midterms?
because if he calls martial law before the midterms, he can cancel federal elections. That's why.
Yes, and if not, it's gonna be they think that they're gonna lose. If they lose the midterms, a lot of this shit that they're trying to push through it'll get hung up. It won't go through as easily. And
they're looking at a wipeout.
And they'll be going through impeachments as well. All of them will be going. Remember, they're gonna try to impeach all of them. So Bondi will be dealing with it. Trump will be dealing. Everybody will be dealing with it.
And I promise you, Trump will throw them all underneath the bus before.
Okay.
I mean, because that man has no loyalty.
Plug, can I say something?
Go ahead.
When he referred to the 1860s and the crisis that America had, you seem to have forgot John Brown went to a federal armory, overcame the guards there, and was handing out guns to free slaves who were freed off the plantation, and he was finna raise an army to go ahead and invade the South.
So
His name is John Brown.
Can I ask you a question?
Hold on real quick. You know who was the military officer that suppressed that rebellion?
It wasn't a rebellion.
No. Well, who was the officer? Who was the officer that captured? Yep, exactly. The Marines. Him and the Marines did it. Yeah.
No, can I ask y'all not hypothetical? Can I ask y'all a question real quick? So if we had to say that it was somebody who is going to play the slaves, meaning somebody that's a group of people that's going to be given these guns, just like they did back then. And this is not a racist statement, but what demographic of people would that be, in your opinion?
The American citizens, the public, puzzles.
Facts.
It's going to be everybody. Right now, if they pass this spending bill through, they just brought the ghost guns back. They just brought braces back to the pistols, man. I don't know if anybody's looked around, but guns are cheap as fuck right now. I'm
Real
talking
rap.
dirt cheap, man. Ammo's high, but guns are cheap.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and I know that they try and do these gun bans, like, they say 7-day waiting period. If I'm that mad at you, I want to bang you out. I can just go to Walmart and go get a shotty.
Yeah, Arkansas.
People never think about that. It's like, so if somebody's that mad, they'll just go get a shotty from Walmart.
Arkansas, if you at a damn gun show, it really ain't too much going on. But if you walk into a gun store, oh yeah, they'll tell you to come pick your shit up in about an hour.
Yeah. In Florida, we bought a shotgun and we walked out with it. My wife did the background check. She passed. So we came and picked up our shotgun. That's bottom line.
Yeah, background check in Florida takes about 3 days.
Oh, okay. I want to have to push back on one thing that was said a moment ago. So, if Donald Trump were to do a martial law in Minnesota, he can't really suspend elections. You can't do that. We already had this happen once before.
No, it's not going to be just. It's not going to be just Minnesota. Don't look at it like that, bro. When we saying this, he's going to try to invoke martial law, not just for Minnesota.
It'll be
I'm saying myself personally. I'm saying most of these blue states that's having like a lot of fashion going on and a lot of ICE agents going on, people getting shot and stuff like that. They're going to be the first states that they invoke martial law for. I don't think it's just going to be one state. I think it's going to be multiple, for sure.
Well, despite that, though, if he were to say to have martial law because he's wanting to suppress a rebellion, we already had it in our history before that we actually had what is labeled a rebellion, and we had a full elections. We had an elections, and also in wartime we don't suspend elections in the state of civil unrest. We don't do that, and it's already happened before.
Suspend an election. We can't suspend an election during a time of war. He cannot cancel the election, but he can postpone an election. We've had this debate on here. He can. He absolutely can. We've had this debate on here, and I've searched Google the heck out of it.
He can suspend elections.
But what we have to realize is his donors and a lot of people around him have already said that they've come up with a plan. He's like, yeah, we want you to run for a third term. We want you to be president again. We already have the plan. And what did Trump say? Like, I might. And then they was like, that was right around the same time, within the same 2-week period, that he said that he's the first Jewish president. So they
came out with the 2028 hats.
They've already acknowledged the plan. Like they have a couple plans, and then that I'm not gonna say a name. A lady named started with M. Y'all know I'm talking about the donor. The lady said 250 million if he want to run again. Trump said 250 million is not the same as it used to be. But they said then that they already had a plan.
Are we talking about initials MA?
Well, there was also a bill in Congress for it.
Congress can be suspended. They can shut down the House of Representatives and Congress whenever there is a national emergency. And then you sitting up here talking about the state of Minnesota. Well, when 9/11 hit, it was New York and the whole country got shut down under martial law.
There was no martial law during that happened.
No, that was cap. It wasn't no martial law during 9/11. I know for a fact. I was in school and we wasn't
So it
locked down.
wasn't martial law where you was, but it was martial law in Los Angeles.
You're saying that?
I mean, it wasn't no martial law in Philly, and that's right next to New York. So I'm just saying.
Once again, I said there was martial law in Los Angeles. No one was allowed on the streets for 3 days.
Huh? Was there military personnel patrolling the streets?
Nope. It was in agreement with the police officers that martial law was to be imposed and that people were to stay in the house.
Yeah, but isn't martial law a military action, not a police action?
Martial law is by any time the government wants to shut things down, they can declare martial law. They do it in small cities if they want to.
Well, I know we've had it here in Florida, like after hurricanes and stuff. I don't remember there being one after 9/11, but you may have had one in Los Angeles.
It was one in Philly a while ago, like in the '60s, because it was a movement and they got bombed, and it was martial law at that time. My pop told me about that. I wasn't living for it, but I know it can be martial law state by state. But what I'm saying is, fuck the martial law concept. I'm talking about we don't believe we at war, and we've been at war for years. We are in a proxy war. So Trump also has the ability to honestly shut it down and say we at war, because everybody know we already been in a proxy for years. If he escalate that proxy, like say Iran was to do something, or they say Iran did something, then you best believe it's going to be something happening. It might not be martial law to the letter, but it's going to be something damn sure close to it. That man ain't coming out of office. I'm just keeping it a being. It ain't even like it's I don't have a race on a horse, but I know he ain't coming out of office. He's going to do something. He already said he got a plan. I believe him.
If that's the case, we're at a constitutional crisis. You know, on paper, he's not supposed to, but it's not far-fetched to think that rules will be bent to make that happen. It's fucked up.
Well, there was a bill in Congress that made it to where only he would qualify to run for a third term. You wouldn't be able to have 2 consecutive terms, and you would have to have questioning results for the between term.
Carlos, are you opposed to Trump running for a third term?
Of course.
All right, so can I ask you a question? Because I know what your stance is. I don't know everybody else's stance. But all right, so let me ask you this: if Trump was to clear our deficit, I'm talking clear it down, and he put us in a plus, right? Take us out of red, put us in black, right? And we are subject to a war. Like we're fighting. It's not live yet, but it's happening. Would you be opposed to them taking a third term?
Yes. Constitutionally, now the way it sits, he should not be qualifying for a third term.
That's a 22nd Amendment.
The question is if he does this for personal gain. It's cool to get rid of the deficit. I'm all for it, 100% for it. If he was able to do it, I would applaud him 100%. But the way he does it is what I question. I mean, we know he likes to say tariffs are taxes on these other countries, when we all know damn well tariffs are taxes on Americans.
For sure. I'm just thinking more so he's going to do it with the crypto. That's, I mean, it's like I don't really feel like it's going to be tariffs that clear the deficit. I'm saying if he does do it, a lot of things is going live this month and next month. And if America had a skin in the right game, like for instance, oil is about to be tokenized. If America has all that oil that they just got from Venezuela and they tokenize all that oil, they could turn a pretty healthy profit off of that alone.
So
Nothing to
if we
do
did that, why did gas go up?
Well, gas goes up because at the end of the day, we talking about tokenization. That's something totally separate from what we paying now. We're using our currency. You know what I mean? I'm saying if he turned
No, what I'm
oil
saying in
or
the sense of we took all this oil supposedly, we just found a crap load of oil. I forget how much it was. Plug said it the other night. The gas went up yesterday, the day before, and it wasn't a lot. It was about 4 or 5 cents, but
yeah.
it did go up.
Can I answer that question? Once the military starts mobilization, they then use all of the oil products to make jet fuel. Not only is the jet fuel needed for aircraft, it's also needed for the tanks also. So then
Yeah,
when you go
avgas.
ahead and refine oil, it is more, especially for jet fuel, it has to be more concentrated octane. So that means that more oil is needed.
But that's why I say I am all for him paying the deficit. I don't think he would do it. I mean, think about it. The deficit just went up, what, $3 trillion this year? Give or take. I think it was like 2.8 or something like that. So I don't really believe he's going to clear it. I
You know,
think he's going to.
I don't
I mean,
believe
think
he.
about it. He himself is responsible for about a third of the deficit that we currently have.
Yeah, I'm not saying he would clear it. I mean, honestly, I kind of look at it, call a
So what
spade a
makes us
spade.
think he's going to actually be able to reduce it?
Yeah, I was just looking as far as calling a spade a spade.
Not
If he
only
was,
that, what he's doing in Greenland is I don't see the gain for the. I don't see it being worth the issues what we gain out of it.
Minerals. There's a terrain out there that has it is the most enriched area of rare minerals. I just looked this up. Like we're transitioning into a new paradigm in America. We're moving away from the old third American empire. We're heading into a fourth American empire, and it's going to be based around us controlling the the currency exchange instead of us controlling the petrodollar or the Bretton Woods agreement.
yeah, that's why I said crypto is going to clear the deficit. We control the currency exchange. That's just like right now, we control the petrodollar, right? So we control
Yeah.
the currency exchange and we make the market volatile and we put, you know what I mean, prices at what we want. They're going to recoup trillions of dollars off that. And that's can't clear the deficit. You know what I mean? I'm not saying it is. I'm not saying that's a plan. But if I was a betting man, I thought of one way that the deficit could be cleared. I would say that. And then I would even raise it as far as Trump will be the first president under that regime that's controlling that. So, I mean, he even it's right place, right time. I'm not saying it's going to happen because of him. It's going to happen because he's the president this time. Had he stayed in office and not lost to Joe Biden, it would have been somebody else in office and they would have been taking it. But he there now. So regardless of like him or not, you got. I mean, look at what he's done.
But I think
And
crypto's too
all I've seen that
volatile.
he's done is raise the deficit. There's nothing more that this man likes to do than spend other people's money. I do not trust him. He's a shyster. He's not good at business. He's not good at economics. Don't trust what he says. He's just always trying to run a flim flam scam on people. And if he's invested with some funny money, you need to get away from that cryptocurrency that he's backing immediately, if not sooner. He's not. I promise you, we're probably going to be at $40 trillion in debt by the end of this year because of his gross mismanagement style.
And I think crypto's too volatile. So puzzles. I mean, I've lost my ass in crypto. Like I have a little bit, and I've been watching it going down to the point that I don't want to watch it anymore.
Yeah, I mean, I've been there. I ain't gonna lie. Last 4 months for me with crypto, I've been on and off. I kind of lost faith, but I still keep certain ducks in a row because if you really look at what's going on with certain things, you can't deny what's going to happen in the future. Like it's only a matter of time. You know what I mean? That's how I look at it. Now, if you have the bread to sit to the side, then yeah, you can do it. But you know what I mean? As tight as everything is right now, nobody has that extra money. So it is what
Like I
it
was
is.
having this debate earlier with a friend of mine. We were talking about crypto because we were talking about how it's going down and everything. Like I got XRP and a couple other ones, but I don't think it's gonna be volatile enough for at least another. I don't think it's gonna be stable enough for another 10, 20 years before it actually makes a major thing. I think
No,
Bitcoin got lucky.
no, about 2030, before 2030, this shit gonna hit the lid, bro. Probably in the next. I ain't even gonna lie. Keep do some little research, man, because things is going live now. This month and next month, things is actually going live, and it's gonna be a lot of change. Bro, I believe in it enough to say, like, you sit back and watch the next couple months, bro. Don't take nothing out right now. I wouldn't take anything out.
No, I'm not taking anything
I just
out
don't
short
trust that
term.
funny money.
But
I don't trust that funny money.
well, I'll tell you like this: I won like what $4,000 on a friend because he thought it was gonna hit a certain mark, and I was like, it ain't hitting that. So we bet $4,000, and yeah, he was wrong.
Yeah. Well, I just have a. I just don't trust the whole cryptocurrency because one, you're talking about currency, you want to call it crypto. I'm like, crypto. That sounds cryptic, and I don't want anything cryptic about my paper.
You're right, but at the same time, a lot of people ain't trust food stamps when they first came out. You know what I mean? A lot of people ain't trust Bitcoin. It's an asset, even regardless. Even if you look at it like this, you don't trust crypto. I don't trust the currency in your pocket. I don't trust that dollar bill. So at the end of the day, it's still backed by nothing, just like the dollar, until they back it by something. So, you know what I mean? That's how I look at it. None of this shit is like honestly, really look at it. Look, how did people survive in the 18s and the 1700s when they wasn't
Well, because we had the gold
dealing
standard
with
back
money?
then.
They deal with trade. We supposed to be on the barter system. And if we really was going back to, 1860, like, my man said earlier, we would be focusing on barter. Like, what can we trade? What can you barter? That's what we
Well,
really come from.
the Federal Reserve notes used to be backed by gold. Used to be backed by the gold standard till 1971. I can tell you
Right.
that definitely. So then they got off of it, and I'm like, I don't know why they got off of it because I was whenever you start getting into the 70s, I started looking into things like Operation Condor and all the coups that we were CIA was doing, and how terrible British foreign policy has screwed up this world in general from the 20th century. Every problem, major problem in this world, you can trace back to Britain, France, or the United States.
That's crazy.
Well, I also think that it's not stable. I think this guy's messing with the market. I mean, think about it. His son gained
Oh,
what
it's direct market
78.
manipulation.
His son gained what $78 billion in crypto, and everybody else lost their ass.
Because it was a pump and dump.
So that's part of why I don't
It's
think it'll be stable.
I honestly feel like it's gonna be pump and dump at the pump and dump at the pump and dump until it's pump, 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 pump. Like, I feel like that's even a play in itself. Like, I feel like because think about it like this: if you got a coin, a Trump coin or a Trump coin, let's say you got a Trump coin, right, and it's a pump and dump, right? Then 6 months to a year later, you actually come out with a USRC coin. That's an actual coin. That's just the pump in. A lot of people is going to be dumping those old assets like the Trump coin and stuff like that. They're going to be dumping those. But if it's an actual asset, you're going to see it. You're going to see it spike. You know what I mean? You're going to see it go up. And a lot of times we ain't see Milan. We ain't see none of them other coins go up after everybody dumped them. So that should tell you something.
I'd rather invest in lithium and cobalt futures, but that's just me.
I ain't gonna lie. If I could like stand supporting Elon, I wish I would have invested when his shit hit the floor. I just couldn't stand supporting him.
Oh, let's not talk about him. He's and with all this information coming out that Doge got into the Social Security Administration, transferring our information to a third party, I'm like,
I ain't gonna lie.
That's around the
Something
national.
is going on with that. Not to talk about the guy that y'all said don't talk about, but y'all seen a couple weeks or a couple days ago that he said if the iOS situation goes AI, you will no longer be able to use Apple in none of his cars, on none of his premises, to none of his buildings. You had to put your Apple devices inside a box because he's saying that it would be able to encrypt anything that's Tesla. Y'all heard
Well,
about that?
That's like we were talking about. I think it was yesterday. Plug showed it, or the day before, that they want to implement automatic shut-off switches on cars. Like if you were to swerve too many times, or if the car feels like you're intoxicated, it could automatically cut itself off where you can't drive it no more.
I can't do that because if it could automatically cut itself off, it could automatically speed itself up, and I'm not fucking with that.
yeah, or like I said, it could automatically shut itself off right while traffic's going fast, and somebody could rear end you and wreck you. Or it could automatically lock up your brakes so you fly into a building or a barrier or something like that. Can't trust it.
You know, it's funny that you guys are saying that, oh, Elon Musk of Doge having a third party going into Social Security to collect it. You know what's really ridiculous about that argument? If you're going to say that, then why not shut the DMVs? Because those people are not even federal employees; they're just workers. So the state, they're just workers. So where's the argument from that one? That's a
Well,
stupid argument.
You should say
well,
like
the state is a
PennDOT, bro.
government, not a third party. They're a state is a government. State government having your information, that's just going how it's going to be for some things. That's the nature of the beast. A third party company like Palantir having our information, or Neuralink or any of these places, no, they don't. Them having it, that's violation of the Privacy Act, HIPAA, and all types of other federal and state laws.
All right, follow me on this then. Let's assume for a second that
Private enterprise versus a government entity. They're two different animals. So I'm gonna 86 your point of view right there.
let's assume for a second that a worker of a company gets to have temporary privileges that basically deputize them. Wouldn't that be more of a justified means that if they were just deputized for a temporary means?
Repeat that question again for me, please.
Let's assume for a second that these people were deputized to collect that information, that they were actually deputized as federal employees of the state under Doge, because it was a government agency, Doge is. So let's assume for a second that they're deputized under that agency. Wouldn't that make them not a third party?
Well, first off, last I checked, there was no act of Congress to make a Department of Government.
No. Answer the question.
Okay.
Answer the question, please. It's a yes or no question.
No, the answer is no, because if
that
you're
Ronnie?
a contractor working for the government, that's one thing. You will be given privileges based on the security level that you need. If you are Doge and you're taking government information, like from the IRS or from any of our other departments, because they were actually having people try and download things from the Department of Energy, particularly in our nuclear department. And that gets downloaded and sent to a third party that is not an authorized contractor and is not authorized to do such tasks, because nobody told those to try and download our voter data and our Social Security Administration information, or any of our IRS information. You see, you're violating privacy laws and security laws. It's technically espionage.
So even though that they were deputized as a federal as a government worker, that still doesn't qualify them.
if they're not using the information as intended. That information never should have left the building, never should have been downloaded to a separate entity.
What
they're not-
information
if
that
they're-
was released to the public that violated that?
It's been noted. It's been leaked in a federal lawsuit yesterday. They tried to slip it in on Friday, saying that employees for Doge may have downloaded our information from Social Security Administration and from the IRS and given it to third-party entities. Why do those third-party entities have our information that should only be accessible by government entities?
Okay. So your argument is that Doge is an illegitimate agency and they should have never been formed in the first place.
Yeah, since Doge is illegitimate, everything after that is fruit from a poison tree.
Then what would be appropriate agency to look at Social Security, for an example, that they found that there's recipients that were collecting SSI for over 100 years?
That's not true.
That would be the Social Security Administration.
Well, that's not even true.
Or the FBI Financial Crimes Division. Those would be the agencies that would handle that. But they're federal government agencies. They're not private third-party companies.
You know what? Then I want to go look on that more. Then.
But that wasn't even true. Like the 150-year-old people collected supposedly, that wasn't even true. It was just that they were using the markers.
150 years ago.
They were using marker points to fill in the data that needed to be filled in, but there were no checks going out.
And to be honest, Social Security Administration didn't come around until what?
The 1930s.
During the, right during the New Deal. So there's nobody who could have got a checks for 100 years when the agency itself is not 100 years old itself right now. So
And
that
if
was a
you
fact.
look at it,
People were collecting money after people died, though. That was actually a proven thing that they did find.
and if you look at it, when a person first establishes his Social Security, when you start working, FICA, I think FICA and all that other stuff is basically like a savings that you're rotating. That is what you draw up on once you retire for your Social Security income.
Yeah, I know.
Okay, so
Actually, it says line item Social Security, SSI. It's literally on. That's a line item on your check. But we should always be wary when certain like. I'll give you an example of an agency that could actually have access to government information, but it's allowed. A defense contractor like Boeing, if they have a contract, they might sometimes have to interface with the Pentagon on things, but Boeing's contracted with the Department of Defense, and they have hard and fast rules that they have to play by. Otherwise, people are going to jail. They're getting fined and they're getting blacklisted. So, but Doge, that's just something that was made up. Boeing being a federal defense contractor, they have rules that there are certain governments that they can't even contract with because those governments are either on terror watch list or we're not on good terms with them. So they can't share certain information with other governments or sometimes other companies if those agencies, their subcontractors aren't properly vetted.
Okay, that Doge was a bunch of crock. Because they have accountants in the federal government that checks all purchases and everything. I have a school here buddy named Ross Sims who used to be auditor and so forth, and accountant for the CIA. His name is Ross Sims.
Oh, he's dropping names. He's dropping names.
See, I'm finna cuss you out. Keep playing with me.
All right, my bad, brother. I'm just joking.
Don't joke with me right now because I've already cussed people out, so I'm trying to be nice.
No, I ain't mean no disrespect, bro. I just was playing.
Buttons, I'm gonna just get off the stage because I said, you know what, y'all ain't worth it.
No, no, I'm sorry, bro. It was an accident. I was just joking.
Dusty Puzzles don't. Dorsey, that's Puzzles, man. He OG. He been around. He don't mean no harm. Puzzles on the same. He understand what you're coming from, man. He just shit when people be tiptoeing around names and shit. For you to drop a name is kind of big, you know. Puzzle don't mean no
Yeah.
harm.
Hey, check this out. I don't know what kind of people y'all hang out with, but the people I hang out with are legal people. So when we dropping names, I'm talking about Ross Sims. Look it up on what's that little website that everybody does when linked. When you're linked in with the businesses and so forth.
I got it LinkedIn.
Ross Sims Jr. And if you look it up, Google it, you'll see him. I've also known other people who dealt with the
You
federal
said
government.
Ross Sims?
Sims, SIMMS.
Junior, yeah. My lady found it. She said Ross Sims Jr.
No, I was asking. I didn't find it.
Oh yeah, right.
It
Man, what about him, Dorsey?
He in Maryland court, you said?
No, look at it. You see CIA.
Well,
But what about him? What were you saying?
So when they have to go ahead and they have to go to him in order to get to purchase equipment and everything, and he audits them every year to make sure the funds match up with the purchases. That's what he does. CPA, Certified Public Accountant. That's another one of his titles. So Doge was not needed in order to go ahead and check to see if there was government wasting, fraud, all that. That was a scam to go ahead and raid your information, your private information, and Elon Musk and his flunkies ran off with y'all personal info.
Yo, bro,
they
you
said that Doge actually
you said Ross Sims CPA, right?
Ross Sims Jr.
Oh, Junior. Oh, all right.
Yeah, it's saying that a report's come out that Doge actually cost the government $10 billion just from them running their flim flam operation, and then cost the government like up to $155 billion more for all the layoffs and firings that they did that were illegal for the government to hire those employees back. Because Genius has tried to fire some people from the Department of Energy who are actually like literally our nuclear scientists.
But can I ask y'all a question? Do y'all feel as though Elon Musk did what he was supposed to do for the government?
No,
And the only reason why I'm asking that, I'm asking for a specific reason. I'm basically asking y'all this because normally, and we all not slow, when you get a job and it's 90 days or it's a provisional time period of that job, if you do a good job on said job, your time get extended. So
Well, the problem was that they would, if they wanted to extend the time, they would have to go through Congress. They would have to go through the hearing committee, the Senate committee, I think it is, that would confirm him.
But if he did a good job, why wouldn't the committee confirm him? Like, it just don't make sense. It's like what I'm saying, Carlos, like we all come to the stage. And if somebody was coming to plug stage and they wasn't doing a good job, say they was just talking out of turn, disrespecting people, then the chat, aka the Congress, would be like, get him off the stage. But if he was doing a good job, like how we doing a good job right now, they will be putting flames in, putting plug signs, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, it don't make sense to me that if he was doing a good job, why the fuck didn't they extend his time? And why the Congress?
Democrats knew he was not doing a good job. They knew it was a con job.
Yeah, he was doing the job. that he wanted to do, and that was to get access to people's information and also be a hatchet man because um, this current administration is very hostile towards labor and towards the unions, specifically towards federal employees.
Like,
Well,
I
not only
feel
that,
that.
like we have
And
somebody in the
that's one of the
chat.
things that was part of his job to be a hatchet man and cut that and try and destroy the administrative state.
Cut the fat, basically.
Well, we also have somebody like in the chat
Destroy
right
the
now
administrative state.
saying,
It's two different things.
like we
Like
have
cut
somebody
the
in the
fat.
chat just now say it cost us $54 billion for Doge when they only saved $2.5 billion.
Like I said, that's the report I saw
Hold on,
earlier
what?
today.
What? That don't make sense. What did you just say?
It cost us
No, that's a
54.
fact.
It cost us $54 billion for Doge and all the employees because they were all making like 7 figures and all that.
Nobody makes 7 figures as a federal employee. You might make
Or whatever figure
$180,000
they were
max.
making, whatever
They
amount they were making, they were
they
making a
weren't
high amount of
federal
money.
employees. They were
Yeah, they
contractors.
were contractors.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They like, all right. So for instance, bro, we know that the government, or we know they always hire outside contractors, right? So we're stopping any one of those other outside contractors from having all our information, like how Doge had. Like, all right, Elon had that job before. Is nobody doing that job now?
Going to jail,
There's
going to federal
nobody
Well, no,
doing that
remember
supermax
job
that
now.
remember that job, that position, that department before Elon was technically help desk. Like
And like I said,
that department was created when Obamacare came out to do support and maintenance on the back end of the servers for help desk. They were just help desk. They weren't a
something go wrong with the sound.
Yeah, it sounded like you cut out or something.
I don't know. Can
Something
y'all hear
goofy
me?
was going on.
I just wanted to make sure it wasn't me.
sorry.
No
Better?
problem. Yeah, that's better.
They were a help desk. They weren't any like actual auditing department or anything like that. So that's how Trump worked around getting Elon in without getting a confirmation for him.
Yeah, but another reason that you wouldn't necessarily want to give Elon Musk access to information from SSA and IRS and what have you is because Elon Musk tends to get buddy with foreign governments, and you get a person's social, you get their IRS and their address. You can make a whole profile of them and be selling that off to foreign governments. It could be U.S. citizens, it could be foreign nationals that are visiting U.S. And but they're getting paid by a U.S. company. And now he's between that and X. Now he can make a whole digital profile and be selling those dossiers off to foreign governments for access.
Do you feel like Elon is kind of like the new age Henry
Well,
Ford
not
in
only
a
that,
way?
like I said, I
Hell
mean, I
no.
don't know if the numbers are correct, but somebody in
Hell
the chat
no.
said
He ain't no Henry Ford.
somebody in the
He's
chat
more like
said it
Nikola
literally cost us
Tesla. That
$54
guy's
billion
fucking.
to save 2.
What
Well,
do y'all think the differences is? Because Ford did a lot for Hitler.
Well, here's where he's not Henry Ford. Elon Musk has never created any company. He's bought some companies, but he's never created anything. He likes to come off like he's the smartest man in the room, but he's smart to dumb people. You can't bull. When I see him, I'm like, what you're saying is straight bullshit. You can't bullshit a bullshitter. And he does not come off as overly intelligent, and some of his peculiarities are suspect to say the least. And but he would be a willing agent. I would believe that he would try and sell us out, sell out the U.S. If he could, because He's
Well,
not
that's what
trustworthy.
I'm saying. Do you guys, y'all know you
I'm
guys
not
are
gonna take
pretty
anything away
intelligent.
from his intelligence. I mean, he's an
Do
intelligent
y'all
man.
know?
Whether we want to give him the credit for it or not, he was intelligent enough to get his name on the Tesla. He was intelligent enough to come up with those contracts.
But intelligence
That's just a
does not
corporate
make you a
takeover.
genius.
What I'm saying
Oh,
is, do
that's
you
true,
see
100%. Do I see you 100% right
the
on that?
similarities? Do y'all see the similarities on what was going on when Hitler was
Am I the
putting his
only one that
dossier
can't hear
in?
Top Cat?
Can anybody hear
Oh,
me?
I can hear you,
Yeah, I
Top
can hear
Cat.
you, Top Cat.
Okay, well, I'm saying his dossier, when you look at Henry Ford's dossier and Walt Disney and these different people that had these super, companies at that time that were, were pushing like this, pushing technology and doing different things in entertainment. Y'all don't see similarities like with
Oswald Patton is who I would say. He was Hitler's man over in Britain. That's who I would more compare and kept on trying to push fascism and in Britain during the interwar period. So that's who I would more compare him to.
So we've seen that Henry Ford,
Charles Lindbergh was part of that group too. Errol Flynn was part of that group too. Nazi sympathizers.
I'm saying somebody that was getting government contracts and still dealing with people that they felt were aligned with their beliefs. So that's what I'm talking about with Henry. Henry Ford was he represented what he felt a whole bunch, and so did Walt Disney. They changed as the companies grew, but in the beginning, Germany had all four parts. Ford was actually facilitating Germany. So I see similarities there with big companies or being the head or the name of a big company. He's the closest thing I've seen to like Henry Ford's situation for me. But you guys are opening up some avenues. But those guys were, you're a general or who had another company from a whole nother
Bill
country.
Gates. Bill Gates, I would. Oh, you mean no? Bill, you said from another country. Not Bill Gates, but Bill Gates, I would consider more of a technical genius, and Steve Jobs, I would consider more of a technical genius than I would ever consider Elon Musk. He can't stand in the same room as those two. I would say, like people who have companies over. There's a couple of people over in China that have some companies that are actually doing extremely well that I would suggest that are way more competent. And trust me, Gates is about to lose most of it. Once he's about to get cut down to only having like the U.S. and Western Europe because those Chinese electric cars are about to take off because they're going to be selling them in India, China, Africa, down in the global south. And they're going to make better deals with like Venezuela and other countries in South America and Africa to get access to the rare earth metals because some companies just don't understand. Like some nations don't understand. This is not the colonial era. You can't just think that you're just going to come in and use gunboat diplomacy to get your way.
Everybody kind of thinks that, but when I look at life, I believe that everybody that got ambushed or everybody that got hit with the Blitzkrieg, everybody in World War I, all these people had that same global belief. Well, that you're just not going to do that, or you're just not. And us as humans with our how we think and our pretty much fucked up mind states, that I don't ever see that as being off the table. That is the number one thing that has always been true, is that if you put up a fence, somebody's going to try to jump it. And I kind of see that in that belief with a lot of people that think that, okay, the globe isn't moving like it is. There's different technologies, but there's still an end goal that's the same as the first goal. Kill the men, take the women. And when it comes down to imperialism, that's what I see still in everybody's eyes. They're using all these different things from cars to rare earth minerals to the dollar to the petrodollar. But when it comes down to it, all these nations are trying to conquer each other to take the women and kill the men. And I still feel that way when I look at these situations like we're talking about. When you talk about what's his name? You know, the Tesla guy. How many kids does he got? Yeah, in the end
Elon
of his
Musk.
thing.
Yeah.
100.
Too many.
Yeah, that's
Hey, we gonna
in
say
the end of
unalive too,
the
Top
thing.
Cat. Unalive, man. Before they get us
My
up out here.
bad. Unalive. My bad.
They gonna try to say we tell folks
Okay,
to do something.
so Top Cat makes an excellent point that the corporations do not care about human life. And they definitely don't care about people of color. And here in America, they definitely don't care about FBA life. So when you're sitting up there talking about Henry Ford, Lindbergh, Errol Flynn, all these other people who even the Kennedys was involved with Nazi propaganda. Joe Kennedy backed Hitler. And the only reason why he withdrew his support was when Nazi Germany declared war on the United States to appease Japan. And Hitler was
Exactly.
reluctant. Hitler was reluctant to declare war against the United States because just for the reasons that Top Cat said, they were aiding him and fighting against communism. Winston
Yeah,
Churchill
he had allies.
backed
He had
Hitler,
allies.
and the
He had
United
allies.
States backed Hitler.
Because that's how eugenics, and that's why they brought all those people over here when it was going on. They were already dealing with each other in the move for technology and the movement of the United States, because Germany was following the United States. It wasn't like they were doing, the United States just hopped into it because they didn't want them to become bigger than us, but they were only doing the same thing the United States did over here. And then they got cut off in Africa, so they kept moving forward. They said, if we can't have Africa completely, we're going to take Europe. Lebensraum, land for the German people, period.
This from, yeah.
But once again, Germany made the same mistake Napoleon did, trying to invade Russia in winter. Like he tried to invade Russia in winter. That never works out.
Okay, so that is a fallacy because Hitler was whipping Russia's ass until the United States stepped in and started giving military support.
That's wholesale untrue because
to
Russia saw that Russia saw what Hitler was on and knew that they were coming from World War I. So they had already moved most of their factories eastward. So they just played the war attrition game, and then the Battle of Stalingrad happened, and the that German state got smoked. They got smoked.
Yeah, but they got smoked because they had to fight on so many fronts, and that's because of how the U.S. was putting them in different positions. And then the Francos was asking for so much help from them that some of their number one Panzer divisions were way down there in Italy fighting and stuff when they should have been up there defending, but they had too many different fronts. And those fronts came because the allies that they had in the United States, the reason why we didn't jump into the war so fast in the first place is because we were making money off the war. So Henry was making money off the war, Model T in there, and putting those engines into their airplanes. And Luftwaffe was flying around with Ford parts in their stuff. And then there was other people that were aligned on the point of what they thought about eugenics, how they thought of a superior race. That has not changed. There was a lot of people that were aligned with them and a lot of people that are still aligned with them to this day.
Especially down in South America and Argentina in particular.
Okay,
exactly where they went. But this is what I was going to tell you. So they went down to Argentina, South America, Venezuela, these different places. But what were they doing? They were following the same lines of them Confederate soldiers that went down there to Argentina and stuff. They were all still aligned.
Bingo.
Into Texas has the most German people in the United States. Why? Why were they the only ones trying to succeed and create their own nation down there? You know, the only ones that were completely successful was doing it was Brigham Young, and that's why they have the only Mormon, I would say European community other than a Spanish community or Portuguese in South America is Mormons. They're the only ones that own any true Mexico territory or land. They have their own city down there from when they went through the whole West and were trying to pick where they could get things. You know, it's a history to this, and that's why I say when people start looking at the history, you'll see that there's nothing new that you're looking at. Everybody that's doing stuff that we're getting mad at, we're pissed off because they're doing what we did already. They're following our game plan.
It's basically a recycle of previous doctrines. Yeah. History repeats itself for a reason.
Okay, so you guys saw the movie Raiders of the Lost Ark, right?
No.
A while back.
Okay.
I still remember it.
Understand this. When Japan attacked the United States, they had secretly made plans with Mexico to invade America, and America sent an ambassador down there to Mexico and said, if you guys assist Japan in any way, we will wipe you off the map. So don't think about it.
Yeah, that did happen. That happened.
Yes, it did happen.
It happened in World War I too.
It sure did. And so
the Zimmerman telegram, that's what it was called. In World War I.
The United States attacked Germany because they was race traitors. The United States people, the white supremacists in the United States was like, how dare you assist these Asians against the white man? And that is the truth of the matter. Hitler didn't want to, but because of his alliances with Japan and Italy, he was obligated to go ahead and declare war. And since the United States was providing arms and materials and resources to Great Britain, he felt like, well, I got to do what I got to do. He didn't even want to. That's why he let the British escape on Dunkirk. Because he really didn't want to do anything. The Germans hated France. That's who they
everybody hates France, not for nothing.
Hitler looked at, before even he started World War II, Hitler really wanted England to ally with him because he saw them pure with the Aryan race. I mean, he didn't even want to, you know.
But he allied up because they went along with some of the views. All of them are going to be Confederate because if you go look at all the kings and queens, we're still only fighting fights from these nationalities and these kingdoms and these lineages. Okay, how's the Welsh princess married the Franco prince? And then all these people were mixing through all those times. And then we're still fighting in a nationality point like it isn't still over those same exact things. We have no reason to fight each other. We're still fighting each other over their royal lineages. What's going on right now in with Russia and Ukraine is over a royal lineage. What's going on with, and I'm gonna call them by what they really are, the Polish and the Middle Eastern people. That's what's really going on right there. It's not it's not the real Israel. It's not. These are Polish people still trying to get land for Lebensraum. That's what this is all about. They're still trying to fight in those same areas that they've been fighting over since the Ottoman and the Roman Empire ruled those situations. When they came in, they stopped the fighting. They were already fighting there. So all these different tumultuous situations that we look at and we look back at them in history, we're getting drawn into that by lineage situations. That's why there's some people that can sit this shit out. Like I can sit back and not trip on that. But I still remember why they're talking about people being immigrants and all this different stuff. I'm still going through it. And I still remember the situation when everybody chooses sides. I go to jail right now. People choose their sides. I got a best friend named Javier. When we go to jail, he has to choose a side. Society has made that this way. This caste system has made these things this way. And now we're trying to react on them and act like those things aren't in our face, when those are the things that these are the tribulations we're still going through. Once we hit that paper, we can be whatever we want out here, best friends, whatever. Once it comes down to nationality, ethnicity, and who you're going to be, once all this falls out, you're going to still get kicked in your ass. You get what I'm saying? Just for who you are, what color you are. So when it comes down to it, it's still black and white.
Facts. Facts. And people from Mexico try to ignore that they were invaded 4 times by Europeans. First it was the Spaniards, then it was the French, then the Germans stepped in, and then the English stepped in. Mexico ain't no pure, it never was a pure.
Yes,
The
it doesn't mean.
The
There's nothing
Azteca,
pure. We're not pure. They were not pure. There was people down there before they came. They called them the big spear people and the little spear people. These areas have been being invaded and invaded and invaded over so many times. That's why everything that you see is always buried under the next thing. These are complete kingdoms, complete situations that's buried under the next one. Now, how they found out South America, well, that's a big garden. They actually made that place and put those plants there and made it exactly how it is. So who was those people? It wasn't the people they're talking about they discovered, just the Aztecs, and not even just the Mayans, or not even just the Olmecs. They don't want to give the first people on this planet that did those type of works and had those brilliant minds that credit. So they'll just, whoever comes there is going to rewrite the history. But now that we have AI, now that we have more things that are putting it in your face, everybody can see that. Everybody that's sitting up here that's warring and fighting, that is their nature. That's what they do from their countries to wherever the hell they went. They brung their culture of tearing up shit, beating up shit. The European roach and the European cockroach and the damn European rat then ran all over the world and tore up every damn thing. And everybody sits up there and says, well, that's not people. Well, why are you calling them European then?
Yeah, and don't forget about
Exactly.
disease too. That really fucked them up too. Like when
Oh,
Columbus
that's
went to the Indies and shit, it just fucking nearly wiped out the entire population of those native
That
tribes
was
in the
the
Caribbean.
main form of
And so,
warfare. Europeans' main form of warfare is basically chemical warfare. When they left on those boats, each one of those boats already had somebody with syphilis and scurvy on it. They never lost a battle. They could come anywhere and get wiped out. They never lost a battle because they dropped off their chemical warfare every single time and unalived thousands and thousands of people. They knew exactly what they were doing. The Black Death. They had how many plagues before? They always kept those things under wraps. They put them on boats. They did different things and made sure that they would never lose a battle completely. Even if we make it here, we're going to wipe out the population, period.
yep, yeah, big time facts, man.
And that's Pope Innocent. When Pope Innocent said that, he said, I declare this papal bull that you can go around the world and you can enslave or kill anybody that says that they're not Christian. You don't even speak the same language. I can't, even if I am supposedly Christian, I can't even communicate with you. You're just cutting my head off for that. So we start seeing what's really going on. It was a global world war, global land grab. It wasn't just no damn Atlantic slave trade. Everybody was running around grabbing land. And then after that, they thought they had the islands in the Pacific done. That's when they went for the land grab back to Africa, because you're not going to be king of the world unless you have Africa. Alexander the Great fell short. All these different supreme warriors, Napoleon fell short. Everybody fell short. So the scramble is still for Africa, because if you don't run those pyramids, you're not king of the world. And every nation feels that way.
I have to agree.
God, I'm getting so fucking tired. I'm about to dip out. Fuck. Ugh.
All right,
well,
man.
You have a good night, Mangos.
Yeah, I learned a lot today on this panel, but you guys have a good night, Y'all take it easy. Dorsey, don't have a fucking heart attack, bro. Hang in there, bro.
Hey man, didn't I tell you keep my fucking name out your mouth?
Here
Oh,
we go.
Dorsey. Oh, Dorsey. Come on,
See?
Dorsey.
See, every time the lack of motherfucking respect. Then when I cuss
Hey.
you out, then you want to play the victim. But I just sat back and I ignored you and I told you don't ask me no questions. Please stop using my name.
I'll tell you what. I'll just buy you some Midol and send it right up to your ass. Y'all have a good
I
night.
tell you what, suck my dick, nigga.
Nah, y'all gotta do it.
That's what you want. You want me to
Steve, I
tell you
dropped
to
the link,
suck my
Steve. I
dick.
dropped the link.
So you won. Bingo. Here's your prize. Suck my dick and suck out my asshole, you bitch
Oh
motherfucker.
yeah, that's crazy. But listen, Steve, I got the link. The link's on the community tab wall, and I just dropped it. Oh
And
wow,
Glenn said, "Oh yeah, that's crazy."
man.
Oh yeah.
Top Cat, you know I ain't finna take that shit.
I hear you, man. You didn't calm me down. I don't say shit, Dorothy. I'll let you handle it. I'll just shut up. I said my boy
Oh
Dorsey
yeah,
got
because
you.
understand this, man. I've been trying to be nice, bro, out of respect for Plug. Because I didn't want to, right now I got a dog collar around my. I really want to tear his ass a new asshole, but I trying to be nice. And then when he had to leave, he couldn't resist but put my name in his mouth. So if you gonna put my name in your mouth, go on and put my dick in your mouth too.
Oh my
California niggas.
Well, West Coast, nigga. We don't play that. If I showed you the respect of trying to be nice and not get into it with you, and you keep on trying to draw me into it, okay, well, obviously I must pay rent in your head.
Yeah, I got here late though. So what was y'all feelings on what happened earlier today when his brother got unalive trying to,
Dorsey, my bestie, you need a hug, man?
trying to
Is
de-escalate the
that Carlos
situation.
talking crazy?
Yeah, you know
Hey,
Carlos gonna
chat, if
bring
you
it
haven't
down.
subscribed, be sure to subscribe to the channel. We're 10 subscribers
Hold
away from
on,
the
I'm gonna let
next
somebody
goal.
tell you something. Just tell them.
Oh, he doesn't want to be touched, Carlos. I tried to give him a hug. He doesn't want a hug.
Like being touched. Keep your hands to yourself. Don't touch
Carlos
me.
wanna hold hands. Carlos like holding hands and shit. Looking at
I
Randy
ain't gonna go there because when Jago said hug, he want to hug. I wanted to tell him to hug my nuts, but I had to. But since he wanted to play them games,
So what did y'all feel on what happened earlier, man? I didn't see it till later. Essence put me up on it. I was wondering what everybody was talking about. Brother got unalive like that, man, and I was late. I know y'all probably spoke on it, but I just want to hear what y'all, a summed up opinion of each one of y'all.
Murder.
Oh,
Unnecessary.
Terror tactics.
I mean, these guys. There's things
I
called rule.
think it's overkill. It was overkill. Yeah.
There's rules of engagement. Can you guys hear me or not?
No, go ahead, Carlos.
Yeah, you good, Steve?
If you can hear me, there's things called rules of engagement, and clearly they're either not being briefed on rules of engagement or trained on it. So, I mean, what we're seeing right now is if you did this in the military in a war zone, it could be considered a war crime, and you would at least be held to UCMJ standards for your actions. So it's not necessary. That's with enemy combatants. This is against Americans, dude. I mean, I don't care what you say. This isn't like to kill Americans and then to cheer it, and then at the same time turn around and go, oh, but Charlie Kirk, you say something about Charlie Kirk and you're a bad guy. It just doesn't make sense to me. We're in a weird place in our country, and it's not looking good.
I feel you on that. I just want to hear where you guys were coming from because I had a couple different feelings about it, but on an average, like what I was speaking on yesterday, why do I feel I'm not as enraged, or I don't feel like everybody else feel, because I feel like this type of stuff goes on around me so much that I feel like the rest of the world is just dealing with stuff I've been dealing with since I was 5-6 years old.
Oh, I mean,
You got numb to it. You can be desensitized to
Yep.
traumatic shit, unfortunately.
That's a bad thing too. The fact that when it happened to you, it was horrifying. Now that happens to others, you're kind of like, good. Now you know how I feel. I mean, you've just become desensitized to it, and you're losing a sense of your humanity. Like if anybody, you should empathize the most.
Everybody that's grown up around me feels the same way. Like, how many of y'all know people that supposedly hung themselves in the county jail or whatnot, and these different types of things that go on? I know people that were beat to death by the police. I know people that were snatched up straight out of school from the Border Patrol, and immigration. I've seen all these different things. I've seen on a daily basis cops harass and beat people. I've seen a cop pull his damn pants down and moon a whole damn apartment complex and shoot his gun in the air. I've seen some different things, and that's what I'm saying. It's kind of weird how I see the rest of the world acting, because as long as it was happening to us, that's just gang violence and all these different things, all these wars that they didn't have on us. Now that other people have to deal with it, I see an upheaval that is ridiculous. Where was all this if everybody was, so peace loving and so cool, and this was just so American? Then this is a different American, because they didn't care when this shit was happening to us. They really did.
Yes, they did. Remember that? Look at the whole Black Lives Matter movement. All those marches and that stuff. That wasn't just black people. Look at the civil rights movement. They were fighting for us. It wasn't just black Americans doing it. There were
Have you read their mission statement from BLM?
From BLM? What about the mission statement?
The mission statement that it's really not for black males. It was an upheaval that they were upset with Malcolm X and Martin Luther King because they didn't get to walk in front. They should have been next to him, and that it's an LGBT thing. It's not even a point that the Black Lives Matter has not really got nothing to do with it. You can go read their mission statement, and all these things come out of it.
After it's over again, I'll read it again, but that's not what I knew it to be about. What I knew it to be about was there was a series of blacks that were murdered by the police, and that's when they said Black Lives Matter. That's what it began from, and that's what the protest were. The protest was about George Floyd, not about lesbians.
The protest was about that. It got usurped. So the Black Lives Matter, I think 3 or 4 founders that are dealing with it are lesbians.
I know that, but
and this is what I'm saying. Those same ones, just like the R. Kelly situation, these same ones have went to school and learned and used these different situations to politicize their personal situations, and then put them in front of us and say that it's a national thing, or it's a race thing, or it's a sexual thing, or what you choose to be thing. And they represented all that. But through all that, never did nobody say that Black Lives Matter because they're black. It always had to have something else.
They were called the George Floyd protest.
Mm-hmm.
The end. That's what it was about. It was about George Floyd being murdered.
Can you look up that mission statement?
So can someone look up? I can't. If I look it right now, I'll get bumped offline because I got to go look it up. I only look at my cell phone.
But a lot of people, black people, didn't read it. The BLM mission statement.
I'll look it up afterwards, but I'm saying for me, what Black Lives Matter was about the George Floyd thing. That's what it was about. That's what started it. But there was more murders than that. There was a series of black murders that happened. Like there was one brother, one guy I remember, he was smoking a joint in his car and goes, I got a gun, and the guy shot him right in front of his family. Bam, right there in the car.
They shot a girl right on University when a friend of them, they shot her up. She fell asleep in the car. She had a gun in the passenger seat. One of the cops actually tried to break the window. The window sounded like a gunshot. They emptied over 40 rounds into the car. Killed her immediately. With a car seat in the back. This has been happening. It's been happening for a while. That's what I'm saying. Where I'm at, these things happen all the time. They just write it off, or they'll pay it off, or whatever, and it's never in the national eye. These things became in the national eye once certain people that then went to college, went through all these things, and they put their personal views on the side because they know that they're using your emotion for that situation. Just like right now, if Plug looks up that statement, I want to know how
I
black
looked it up.
men
It's on the
feel.
back end.
You looked it up?
It's on the back end.
So what,
I
what is it
copied and
saying?
pasted it.
What is it saying that he's talking about? Because also, let's go back a little further than that. Let's go back to the Rodney King beating. That was the first time that, I mean, people knew it existed, but no one could ever prove it because cops would always get the cop report, and the cop report's like he was resisting. That was the first time it was caught on videotape by somebody other than a police officer. And it showed that this guy was brutally beaten, and that caused change. But that was the first step.
I don't know what change it completely caused. I mean, the first thing that everybody just got called thugs and different stuff, and everybody else that was stealing and looting and doing all these different things was mostly not even the black community. And they said, "How stupid are y'all for tearing up your own liquor stores and your own businesses and all?" And when it really wasn't that, it was other people coming from other communities tearing up those communities. The other ones were walking through Brentwood.
We hear you. We're on the same shit in music, but we're just approaching it differently. For me, I say, like you said, it's been happening in the black community and it's been ignored, and now that's spread to every community. And rather than saying, okay, at last you guys get what we're saying, listen to what I gotta say. It sounds like to me you're saying, "Fuck y'all, y'all didn't care about what happened to us. We shouldn't care about what happens to you."
No,
and
I'm just saying now it's an equal playing field and everybody wants to cry.
Is that good though?
This hasn't changed nothing for me. When the cops get on my ass, I feel the same. They will do the same things to me, and they're not going to be scrutinized the same way as they will be scrutinized in these other situations. So even though people are bringing things to light, it doesn't make a difference. As long as they feel like I have a criminal history, or I'm a criminal in the first place, or if I'm a drug-infested neighborhood, these things happen all the time. Kids are put in danger all the time. Young women are taken advantage of in these different situations because their parents can't say nothing. Her daddy's on parole. What can she do? There's different things that are going on like this that I've experienced personally. Hands down, I've seen this stuff. And that's where I see people speaking in generality. But have you been on the ground? Are you boots on the ground when these situations are happening? Have you seen your mom get snatched out the house and slapped on the hot-ass pavement in 115-degree weather and her cheek burnt because that's how they're acting? Well, now people are in outrage for that, but I saw that yearly with my own mother. So
again, so your interpretation is what woke is about. The very term woke was you. You were woke because you saw it and you say, "Hey, this is a problem." And then a lot of the right wing want you to disavow woke because they go, "It's not about being black; it's about being gay, or it's not being there's like the movement was hijacked." But the thing is, for me at least, we should be even focusing more upon it because the bottom line is that now they kind of get it. Now they're willing to listen to it. But this murder of this guy, this wasn't like he was a drug dealer, or this wasn't like he did this or that. This is just a systematic thing of the ICE agents are looking. They're looking for a reason to kill people, and if we let them get away with it, bro, it's gonna come back on us even worse. If we don't step up and agree this is a problem, like once they get rid of all the immigrants, what do you think's next? Let's get rid of all the blacks.
I think the thing that a lot of people aren't realizing is how the civil rights fight went on. Yes, there were marches. Yes, there were protests, but it was a lot of litigation that went on. So when we're having these conversations, we have to be all the way transparent with them. Like, who is the leader? When we talk about the civil rights movement, there were clear, defined leaders. If we're not going to say one, but we can name a handful. Who is the leader of this movement that they're so they're trying to pull the FBAs and the black community into it when they don't even have a clear defined leader? And that's going to be hard for initiatives and things to get passed when there's not a system in place, like the woman that called earlier and spoke about. Like there has to be a system during the civil rights. There was a clear chain of command depending on which branch that you came out of. Whether it was Islam, there was a clear chain of command. Whether it was Martin Luther King with the Christians, it was a clear chain of command. Whether it was, you know, and they all came
Cesar
together and
Chavez.
collaborated.
Well, Cesar Chavez, that's what I'm saying. That's another usurp situation. That's somebody backing it, coming in off of the backs of someone else. He usurped it just like everyone else usurped it. This whole thing had been being pushed since the 1920s. And then everybody else that had their own personal agenda usurped this movement, this actual woke movement. The woke point is because we're out of sleep, we're out of slavery, we're out of these situations. We can actually read these books and understand things. And that got usurped. Everything got usurped. And then that, I guess what happened in New York at a gay bar or something with some black woman, that was the first time they usurped it and put it into the civil rights movement. All these things that the civil rights movement already covered, people became the spear and the head front of it for their own personal situations and rode the backs of a lot of people that gave blood for a way more conservative views than what they're being appreciated for. There was conservative views that got liberals feeling the way that they feel right now. And those were the people that had conservative views that were really being treated wrong in those conservative environments. And nobody respects that. I wanted to have a family and I couldn't have a family. You separated us, made me have to move. You treated my children a certain way. You segregated certain things. And I didn't have no different ideologies than you did. And nobody looks at that when they say liberal.
And I've been listening to a lot of these civil rights leaders' speeches, and I remember vividly listening to Martin Luther King when I believe he sat down with the Birth of a Nation or Face of a Nation, and he was speaking about the when they were going to go protest in Alabama and Mississippi if the filibuster with the I don't know exactly the act, the equal rights, whatever. I don't know the exact one, but he was saying that if the filibuster, if the legislation doesn't pass, then yes, they'll protest. It'll probably be peaceful. But if it does pass, then there's even more work to be done because they have to go enforce it. So these are the things that this movement, whether it's anti-immigration, I don't know what they're calling it, the movement, the prior movement was a civil rights movement, but they're going to have clear defined goals. They're going to have people that can go, to bring this shit to court. I know we've seen some of these things go to the Supreme Court as far as the removals, but it has to be. This is a fight that's only been going on over the last year, and the civil rights movement was, decades.
I mean, everything you're saying is spot on, and feeding on that, I don't think there's going to be a black leader in America that's going to stand up for this situation like with the civil rights movement, because kind of like it was the top cat that's you're saying, like, this isn't about black people. This is really about immigrants. And getting back to Cesar Chavez, for example, Cesar Chavez was looking out for the rights of field workers and how they weren't getting paid and getting ripped off and stuff. So that's when he stepped in, and that's when he got involved in this. And I really think this is more like this is about the Latino community. That's who's being hit the hardest.
He usurped that situation. I'm right out here where he walked at, from Orange County down here to Riverside in the Citrus Belt. He usurped something that's what I'm saying. There were already farm workers. There's a movie by with Richard Pryor, I think it's called Blue Collar or something like that, that actually addresses this. If y'all want to look up an old movie, it's a good movie, but it's called Blue Collar, and it shows who was working there in the beginning, and then the point of what got pushed through. You saw Blue Collar before?
No, I know you're talking about like the movement already existed, and he kind of took over it. You're right, but he took over it, and he brought more to light than was being brought.
Yeah, but he was the part of the displacement. See, that's what I'm saying. You got somebody that was in here that was more in the middle situation and a pretty smart dude. But the guys that were pressing the other workers that were already farm workers out, once he got his people in there, he usurped that movement and became a political star off of the work of other people. All the things that got put in legislation and everything were there before him. He just went and said, "Oh, we can override these same policies. So let me look at Martin Luther King. Let me look at all these different situations to help my people, which is nothing wrong with that. But he didn't include everybody that he just pushed out. He still took the advantage that the people that's been doing this for the last 400 years, I just made sure that they had no jobs.
So, Plug, I got a question for you.
Up until the point that even during the civil rights movement, the gangs got involved. The gangs even got political. The gangs even started thinking about social and economical development. We have to, if some civil rights shit went on right now in America, and it was specifically towards the FBAs and the black people, there are clear, defined voices out there. These voices, they might not be the most educated or most credentialed up, but there are voices that can rally, get a lot going on, get a lot of motion. You got people like a Tariq Nasheed or a Reza Islam or even a Captain Tazari. I guess they have their own communities. Those communities are different. You got the Hebrew Israelites, you got the Muslims, you got the FBAs, but for a common cause, they can all come together. I don't see that in the Latino community.
And that's a big reason is because they are split when it comes to the United States. When you start talking about, and I say this, other people might get mad. I don't give a fuck, y'all get mad. But there's Chicanos, there's Paisas. Yes, where I'm at, there's Norteños and Suteños. They have their issues coming all the way from where they live at. There's parts of Mexico that really hate Salvadorians, hates these. They have their own issues by the time they get here. So when you're seeing communities together, they're still getting shunned. The dark ones over here, they're still getting treated a little bit different in certain parts of the community out here. You come out here and your ass is under 5'7", 5'6", they are, oh, that's them. He comes from here, or he's a Panamanian, or he's whatever, and they treat each other differently. If you go to jail, you'll see that it's the Chicanos and then there's the Paisas. They have two different groups. Well, not even not Norteños and Sudeños. There's Paisas, and Paisas are Paisas, period. No matter where the hell they hit out here, they don't align themselves with the gangbang and Chicano lifestyle that's out here completely. When they see somebody else or they see somebody that's from out here, that's what they call them. They'll call them, hey, Chicano, what's up? That's how they speak to them, because they know that they're different. They ain't saying they ain't just killers and they ain't wild. I ain't saying that. They can beef just as hard, but the way that they move, they are still from the old country. If like how Italians would say it, they're from the old country. Where these guys over here are the people that were here when the Buffalo Soldiers came. So these Latinos that's over here are more Spaniard in a different manner. They just now in the last I say 60 years have been getting in touch with their native side, and that's where we're getting all this Latino stuff from. But how I grew up, it was Hispanic and Latinos. Hispanics identify with Spain, and Latinos identify with their native background, period. Now it's all over the place, but that's where it started at. So that's why Haiti is Latino, Jamaican, those are Latino. All those different people are considered Latinos and have been Latinos. When did Mexico ever become Latinos? They were Hispanics.
Interesting.
It's changed. Everything's changed.
So, Plug, where does this all go? Like, how many more murders does it take before before a leader is going to come out of this?
See, the different it's just as much about the individual that's speaking as it is the organization that backs them. So there's going to be a time to where the snowball effect happens, where community meets momentum, and that's where omnipresence occurs. So until I will just go with the Latino, even though it's Somalis, other ones, until this anti-immigration movement has communities behind the face, it's not going to stop. When I mean, if the Hispanics are going to have to get the Catholic Church behind them, they're going to have to get the gangs behind them. They're going to, if they want to say that this is a civil rights style movement, they have the blueprint. They're not using the blueprint. They're saying we need black people's help when the blueprint is there. As a black American, I'm like, how can y'all say that this is the civil rights movement when we're not even a year in? There hasn't been much litigation. There are organizations, but the organizations behind it are more NGOs. Where's the Catholic Church?
The Catholic Church will never be their plug because they are on the other side of things. That's what I'm saying. When they talk about
But the
white
black church
supremacy,
came though. The black church
Yeah.
came. The Muslims came. That's the difference. That's what I'm trying to,
No,
you
no,
know.
no. Hold on. The Catholic churches are out there.
Yeah, they're at the Catholic Church. The Pope talked about it so far, and so I mean, if you listen closely, the Catholic Church is getting involved,
Catholic churches out there.
not to the
Well,
level
they
doing
they
have
what?
to
should be.
have a clear defined
What are they
leader,
doing?
a clear defined speaker that has the full backing of the Catholic Church.
But we've had the
What are
Pope
they
come out.
doing?
The
What are
the,
they
the Pope
doing?
the Pope spoke out against it so far. That's the highest person I've
But
heard speak out
listen,
against it.
But he
it's a
spoke
difference.
for it
That's
and
kind of
against
like
it.
the Pope speaking out is kind of like, you know, he's a figure that's almost not human. People can't relate to that. People can't touch that. Like they need someone boots on the ground that can say the unpopular thing, that can cuss a motherfucker out if need be. That's what the civil rights movement had.
And you're not going to get much respect from that Pope situation when it comes to how Americans are in the Protestant foundations in America. Like, even though those things are going on, if you're part of the Catholic Church and you have went through the rites that you're supposed to, your name is written down all the way back there in Spain. So whether you're in South America, North America, or you're in Canada, wherever, you're still going to be, written down in their book, and they know where you stand in that situation. As us being Americans, I see that's being the biggest fault. Even though the
That's what I'm
blueprint
saying.
was
This
put,
is what I'm saying. My bad, Top Cat, but it gets on my
go
mind.
ahead, go ahead.
The black church pushed MLK. The Muslims pushed Malcolm X and Farrakhan. The gangs pushed their gang leaders, whether it was Jeff Fort, Larry Hoover, all of those. Every person, every face had an institution pushing behind, and they came together for a common cause, which was equality for black people. Until they have those things set in motion, I see y'all saying the Archbishop spoke out, the Catholic Church, the Pope spoke out, but this is on several fronts from several different angles. That's where you get momentum, snowball effect.
And he spoke on how many different things. That's what I'm saying. For me to say, oh, the Pope spoke on it, he also spoke on gay marriage too. He spoke on some different things where he took an in-categorical presence in all of it. Like, well, it could be good for this and bad for that. It was never just a definite situation. Like, you guys deporting those immigrants is wrong, because he can't say that. You know
No,
how
he
the
has said that.
Vatican,
He
He
has
did.
said that.
The new Pope did. The new Pope spoke out against it very,
Yes.
very sharply.
he
Very
said
sharply.
that it's wrong. It's wrong for illegals to get deported from a country that they're not at. He said that.
No, he went deeper. He was talking about
No,
how
he
they
said
treated him,
Jesus was an immigrant. That's what he said.
and he also talked about how they treated him inhumanely and this and that and da da
How is
da.
Jesus an immigrant?
I mean, look
How
it
did
up.
he say?
Chat.
No,
Look it
I
up.
don't
What he
have.
said. He just said it
I
recently.
just don't know how he's going to say that Jesus was an immigrant and not his parents. His parents could have been immigrants. Wherever he was born is where he was from.
Well, his
And
parents
he's
were
from.
immigrants. His parents were immigrants because they all migrated to Egypt. So they left where they were. We don't know where they were from, but we know that they ended up going to Egypt for a
Yeah,
long
we
time.
do know where they were
So
from, and they were
that's an
captured in Egypt and Mizraim. They were captured and enslaved in Mizraim. They
Who?
left.
Who?
They were the Israelites.
No. Christ. I'm talking about Christ. When his father had to go back to Bethlehem to register, so he's from Bethlehem, and then they had to flee Bethlehem as immigrants, and they moved to Egypt, where he lived for some time. So they were immigrants, and then he returned
He lived in more than Egypt too, right?
And then he returned from Egypt back to Nazareth. That's where he was raised.
Yeah. So he was in Egypt, and I believe there was 2 different other places that they stayed in when they were basically pretty much on the run, and that was deeper into Africa, not just Egypt.
I'm just going off what scriptures say. Born in Bethlehem.
I am too. I'm saying that this is what I remember. It wasn't that place because Jesus went to where there was black people so that they could not distinct him any different. The same with Moses. All of them went into Africa because they looked a certain way. So they had to go around people.
The Coptics, the Coptics all still honor Jesus. Matter of fact, they say that their religion goes back to when he was alive on earth. So Coptic religions go back to 29 AD. When his
Well,
ministry started,
Coptics are the first what they would call so-called Christians. They
only
are the
true
first ones
Christians.
that,
Yeah, the
huh?
only true Christians. The only true
Well,
Christians are Coptics.
can't say that. I can't say what the only true Christian is because Christianity is partly a construct too. You
Well,
know, when it
the
comes
reason
to
why
following Jesus,
the reason why I
that's
say
what being
that
a Christian.
the reason why I say that is because they kept his ministry while he was on earth, and it hasn't changed. And no one else has. Everybody else, their ministry comes from after the fall of the temple. So that's 70 A.D. and that's where that comes from. So the Coptics had it 35 years before that, and it hasn't changed. So they're the only true Christians, in my opinion,
Well,
that
I
exist.
can say that. That's what I'm saying. We can't really completely say that because if we're following what the red letter says, he says that we're still following the old rules and the old law. So to be a true Christian would be to be true to God, and you wouldn't have a religion. So
I mean,
he came. That's
go
what
ahead.
basically what I'm saying is they are all still copying stuff. It's still being copied from the old, what we call the Old Testament, but the Torah. So if you're following Jesus, you're still following Torah.
So I got us distracted. We'll get back to where we're talking about. Yeah, I agree with you. But we get back to we're talking about where he was from, and he was an immigrant, and that's what the Pope was saying. So he lived in at least 3 different places, 2 different places.
Yes.
Yes. So he was an immigrant. Back to what the Pope said, and Chad can look it up. Chad can say what he said because he definitely talked about it recently.
Was he an immigrant or a refugee?
He was both. He was a refugee fleeing for asylum. So he was an asylum seeker.
He was. He was a
was
refugee. An immigrant isn't going to come into your situation in any distress of war or something like that. That doesn't just make you an immigrant. You're a refugee. Your land has been displaced. You have been put in a position where your life is threatened for you to be where you're at, and you have to move around.
Okay, so how many that have come through the border were refugees through our southern border? Were a lot of those refugees?
I couldn't give you an exact understanding of it, but I believe a lot of them in certain circumstances were refugees. Yes.
Okay, so should the government be throwing them out right now under this administration?
It depends on what you consider a refugee.
Well,
that's when we get into the schematics of everything, because it's kind of like, were they truly refugees or were they, abusing the system? That's where it gets tricky, and that's where both sides, the gray area comes. Because yes, true refugees, someone who is truly being, persecuted or faced, certain troubles, yes, they could come over here. But then you have other people who just abuse the system, so that's always going to be an argument. That's always going to be, are they truly, what meets refugee status? Are we going by the actual legal definition? Are we going off of feelings, or what are we going by? Because there has to be a baseline, and that was this administration's whole thing was, that's why we're sending the Somalis back. They came over here under TPS or whatever, and now their homeland is back to normal. So let's send them the fuck back.
Yeah, but it's not. But that's not true though. Somaliland is not Somalia. Somaliland is like living in Beverly Hills. Somaliland is beautiful. It's nice, and Somalia is where they were all coming from, and they were fleeing. I forget the name of the group. It's not Boko Haram. It's in Nigeria.
I understand. Somaliland has been trying to gain independence since 1991. The UAE, Israel, and the UAE recognize them as an independent nation.
And we shouldn't. They should be recognized.
At the same time, that's where I go back to it being a morality thing, because a lot of these people, it's like, somebody can be the worst of the worst, like the administration says, criminal, and still be persecuted. So should that person be able to seek asylum? Like, demand. I'm using an extreme example just to make a point. Somebody who has a couple murders or grapes or whatever, and they get let out of prison and they come here seeking asylum. Should they be allowed to come here? No, of course not. Nobody would say that they would. Yes, it's a very extreme example, but that's just some of the things about the vetting process that has to be fixed.
But we look at that though. That is part of the vetting process, and that's also part of getting the security clearance. So let me ask you.
And that's what. I'm not gonna let you. Let me let you finish.
Do you think that, for example, like Trump's a white supremacist? So do you think that those white South Africans were being persecuted? Like they were seeking political asylum. He gave any white South African that want to come political asylum. Isn't that abusing the system?
Yes, I think they were getting
Wait,
persecuted to a
Yes.
certain
but
extent.
how do you know
No.
that Trump is supremacist? I never heard
I
him
should
say
put a
the
picture up. I
N-word
need y'all to put
or
pictures
anything
up
like
too.
that.
Here's how we know Trump's a white supremacist. Is his
Facts.
actions. Is his actions. Look at his actions. The biggest action right now you can look at is how many black judges has Trump appointed in his second term? The answer, 0. So Trump does not like black. How many black people outside of HUD, HUD, which stands for urban, what's it? I forget what HUD stands for, but outside of HUD,
Housing, human development.
thank you. Outside
I can
of
name a
that,
couple. I mean, I can name a couple because I came up with that. He put the black lady over in charge of the pardons. He put the other black lady in charge of agriculture, which is the fields.
it is
So
that's all HUD. Those are all HUD. Keep going. Those are still all HUD. Not there's
the pardon system is still HUD as well.
no. There's that's not his cabinet. In his cabinet, there's no blacks. In his cabinet, there's no blacks. No black judges. He got rid of Martin Luther King's.
But also like white people in trailer parks. Like I'm saying, it's private. It's just for people that are underdeveloped places.
Asha, you got some shit going on with your audio. I don't know what
Yeah,
you got going.
I want to hear you, girl, but I can't understand what you're saying.
Communities.
Go ahead.
Generally.
Say that again. I couldn't hear you. Hello? Say that again.
Underdeveloped communities.
What about them?
Asha, you're going to have to talk a little louder, man. You're going to have to put some bass in your damn voice, Asha.
I just feel like, there is a point of favoritism of things that look like you. And I don't put that past people. Like when I know there's a majority at a job, I know that it's going to be harder for me to get this job because each person there is trying to put their cousin or their uncle in, or, there's a point that there's relativity to different things, but that's what I say it's so different about our struggle. You cannot knock us out from having those same advantages and then try to blame us and tell us that we need to pull ourselves up by our bootstraps. We don't even get that chance. It will never be put in those positions unless it's a completely our businesses. So we are at the whim of society in a whole bunch of situations, and we fought and put the blood and tears and work in there, and now everybody else reaps the benefits. But when they have to deal with the things that we deal with, they start crying like hell about it. And that's what I see right now. I'm not
See, I have
saying
an
things
issue with
aren't
that
wrong.
statement. Sorry, Tom.
You
I
said
don't mean to
what?
cut you off, but I have an issue with that statement.
Go ahead.
Because shouldn't this be about America? I mean, we always sit here talking about America, America first, America this, America that. The last couple people that I have seen ICE unalive were not Hispanics.
No, because that
Nah,
shit
Craig.
that shit is starting to get on my nerves because
So this is the thing, though.
because now Trump sent a letter to fucking Norway. I'm like, what does Norway have to do with Greenland? He sent a
I
letter
don't
to
even think we
Norway
talking about
saying that you
Greenland
have
right
to
now.
fucking let us get No, I saw it like today. And I
You
was like,
off topic though. We talking about some other shit. Damn, I done lost my train of thought, bro. She just
I can pick up where Carlos left
What
off.
did Carlos say? What did he say? Because I had a point. What did
He
you say, Carlos?
said that we should be focusing on Americans, and he was
This is what
saying,
it is. This is what I was gonna say. Yeah, it you are right, Carlos. You are correct that you're supposed to be focused on Americans. But this conversation, from the onset of it, was directed towards Black Americans. Like, hey, why aren't Black Americans doing this? We need Black Americans' help. And it's just funny how now we got to be the moral ones. That's what it is. Yes, is it vindictive? Probably. Is it correct? Is it moral? Probably not. But we're, like I say a lot, we haven't been living in a moral world. So it's kind of like the pot calling the kettle black.
I think that it's been good for Black activists, Black leadership to step aside because, like, everything Top Cat saying was spot on. We have been the blunt of every punch, every insult, every targeted community, and when all this started, just like Top Cat, a lot of black leaders were like, you know what, I'm gonna take a chill. I'm gonna sit on the sidelines. I'm gonna watch this rather than be a part of it. And I don't think there's nothing wrong with that, because I think that the rest of America should step up. And like Carlos was saying, like the two people that were shot were both white people. I think that was the point he was getting to. They weren't Latinos. They weren't anything. But there's been a black guy was shot in California already by ICE. A lot of Latinos have been killed a couple got suicide while they were locked in. I don't know if I say the right word on that. While they were in ICE custody. So that community is taking the blunt of it too. But I mean, I get the point everybody's saying here, and Carlos is a very good point that he was making.
Like, I guess my question is to everybody here. I'm not black. We all know I'm Latino.
Your ass is black.
You're
Well, whatever you want.
white.
I don't know about you, Washa, but
You're the
Our
whitest
whole
Latino
thing is
I
the
ever
two, Carlos.
seen.
The communities that they want the black people to step up for, yes. As the Americans, this is American land. But the communities right now that they want the black people to step up don't even fucking like us, bro. Let's be honest.
but my question is, when does it become a black person politics? We see in videos. I mean,
we see when black people feel it becomes a black person problem. That's not anybody's.
Wait.
Leadership. I'm gonna tell you like this: the same black leadership that we're talking about that led the civil rights movement, there are new faces to that same movement. When those faces start moving and shaking, and those organizations behind them start moving and shaking, that's when black people know it's time.
Well, I came in
Can
on
I
the back
speak?
end of this conversation, but I mean, America's problem, black people's problem, black America's problem is all the same problem, regardless of your
Yep.
Latino.
No, the fuck it's not.
No, it's
Nah,
not.
no,
Oh,
no,
Plug,
no,
can I speak?
no,
Can I speak?
no.
Go ahead, Dorsey. You've been waiting. Go ahead, Dorsey.
What a Jersey.
Okay, let's keep it 100. And Dorsey gonna keep it 100. Look, when we were out there getting hit with the fire hoses and got the attack dogs all on us, where was the Hispanics? Nowhere to be seen.
so you gonna tell me there was no Hispanics out there?
I'm not
No,
gonna say
it wasn't
this.
no
I'm gonna say
Hispanics out
this.
there.
No,
There was
there
some
were Hispanic
Latinos out there.
slaves. See, that's the conversation. Are we talking about Hispanic slaves, or are we talking about the civil rights movement? Because that was different. Now, if y'all want to say there was some Hispanic slaves, okay, I'll give y'all that. But the civil rights movement, nah, hell no.
Well, there was Native American slaves, and nobody ever wants to talk about that.
Those are
But
the
see,
black
but
slaves.
see, that's what we're trying to say.
Hold on. We're not talking about slavery. We're talking about the civil rights movement. I didn't see
Yeah.
any Native Americans out there on the civil rights movement, and the Native Americans that was on the civil rights movement was black folks, FBAs.
Can I say something
Yeah.
on that? Are you guys familiar with Wounded Knee?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That was Native Americans, and they got killed. So, in case you don't know it, during the civil rights movement, you can check the laws. I know I was in San Francisco as a kid, and this is in the '60s. You could kill a Native American person. You could be white, kill a Native American person, and you would not be charged with a crime.
Right.
So they had less rights than, I mean, blacks were denied rights, but blacks could vote because we fought for that right. Native Americans couldn't vote till like 1925.
Bro, they rode the same train. There was a Native American girl that was in the movie theater, and they tried to make her move out of her seat, and she did the same thing that those other people were doing to protest to start up their shit. Everybody usurped the act, just like what we're talking about. Oh, they could do this and do that. That only changed what? And it never changed. They still can shoot our ass and they can get away with it.
We always forget
law,
about this.
by
We
law.
always forget about this, but before Rosa Parks, there was a different girl that didn't give up her seat.
Yeah, she was
the
a young black
original
girl.
one.
Yeah, she was the original one. That's true. Rosa Parks did kind of usurp that kind of like the Cesar Chavez thing. But that is a very true point.
there's people before then. There's people before they were even having those events, and you weren't even supposed to be by. There's people that have protested and given their life for the point of just trying to be a regular human being. What we're talking about when you mention the Indians in that certain situations, we're the ones that stood with them even when they tried to get there. They usurped the civil rights situation and got their rights, got their land, then denied us through blood quantum right after that when they know that we're the same damn people and we took that stuff. Right now, if you go look on when they say who built the railroads, they're going to say the Chinese and the Cherokees. Go look up the pictures. The Chinese didn't do nothing but cook, and the Cherokees they talking about were nothing but black people.
Yeah, a lot of
They
black
can't
people
show
built the
you nobody
railroads.
in full garb. They're not going to show you no one in full garb working on that damn railroad.
Top Cat.
Yes, sir.
See, they don't know the distinction between the FBA and a black. See, they think that when we say FBA, they don't recognize that we are the Aboriginal people here in America. We are not African. Stop putting us. And then the Africans stole that moniker from us and said, "Oh, it applies to us too." Yeah,
What
okay,
are
well
you
you can
saying?
have it.
I'm African. My
What do you?
ancestors were brought here against their will.
What does
Type
that have to
shit.
do with FBAs? That's what he's trying
I
to
don't
tell
know what
you. That's what he's trying to
FBA
tell you.
is. I
See,
want to
that's the
know.
problem. You don't know what FBA is.
I want
And
to
hold
know.
on, I was just reading about the civil rights. Yes, there was Hispanic organizations or Latino organizations, whatever you want to call them, out there. There's civil rights movements.
Doing Sigma right movements on
Yes,
And
their
that's why
own,
when
for
Carlos
their
whatever they
own
wanted
people,
to
for their
do.
own purposes. They
and
Wait,
the
were not
civil
somebody
doing
rights
it for
explain to
movement
me
was
what
FBA.
hold on.
FBA is,
Let me,
because
I
I
got the
never heard
floor.
that
Hold
term
on, Asha.
before.
The civil rights movement was infiltrated as well by a lot of organizations, the three-letter agencies. What I'm trying to say is I didn't see any Hispanics out there getting water hosed the fuck down or dogs sicked on them. Now, if there were some organizations that stepped up and was like, hey, you know, we support them, that's cool. You know what I'm saying?
You want me to post the
That's
pictures
fine
on
and
the
dandy.
Discord?
Yeah, go
No,
ahead.
no, there was people out there. No, seriously, there was people out there protesting, but a minimal in their situation because they had the contrast that happened. If they supported, they had to deal with their own community going against them, plus the struggle that they were jumping into.
That's
So
what
you would
they would
see
be
that
called
in
sympathizers.
major.
See, that's the difference.
Yeah,
What I'm saying is there's a difference between being a sympathizer. Every cause is gonna have sympathizers, right? And then you have an actual movement to where what they're asking for is for the black community, the black leaderships to gather everybody to come support this thing. Now, there are black people, just like they're saying, where are the black people at? We're like shit. There are some niggas out there marching. It's some niggas out there marching. It's some black organizations behind this shit.
yeah,
But that's
yeah,
not
true.
enough. They want the full, complete support of the black community, and that's not what happened before and the other things. So that's where I go back to the morality of it. Yes, there were sympathizers, there were sympathizer groups, but it wasn't a community effort. The Latino community didn't just step the fuck up. The white community didn't just step the fuck up. There were sympathizers and sympathizer groups, and we appreciate those people. We are thankful for those people. Just like right now, there are black sympathizers and black sympathizer groups, i.e. the Black Panthers of Philadelphia say they're on their way to Minnesota to fight this shit.
Like Candace Owens, she seems like a white sympathizer to me. I don't know what the hell her problem
Candace
is.
Owens is a tether. Do you know, since you don't know what an FBA is, do you know what a tether is?
No.
Are you asking
Okay,
me?
let me put
Wait, are
it to
you
you
asking
this
me?
way. No, I'm talking to the young lady
Oh,
because she says she don't
This the
know.
thing too. Let me respond to Gito. Gito says, your ancestors was on them boats, bro. Please don't disrespect us here. We still haven't seen those boats. We've seen a lot of boats, but we haven't seen those boats. And another thing as well is that not all black people came from. Yes, there were some slaves that came over. You know, there were, but a lot of black Americans, especially in the South, especially that walk the Trail of Tears, are Native Americans. They look different. They got the high cheekbones. You can look at their hair, the nose. You see it. There are Indian Aboriginal tribes that are recognizing black Americans as recent as last year. That's the thing when we say the land was stolen. Found that, you know, those are it's layers to it, all the way from before 1865 to 1865 and beyond.
Well, my family was originally did come over on the boats as slaves, and then was mixed with the white slave owners, and also Cherokee and Blackfoot. So we did come over here against our own volition. I know not all black people came over here against their own volition, but I'm just saying.
Stop
We're
using
saying
black.
black people was here. That's the thing.
I am
Everybody,
black. What the hell?
not you, Asha. We're not coming at you for what you are. We're saying that black people was on this land, just like they say the Hispanics was on this land, and the Manifest Destiny pushed them out, and they're still there. Black people was here too. It wasn't like all people have the misconception that every person that would be called black with this type of skin came from a damn boat, and that's just not the truth. That's
what we're trying to tell y'all.
We're not trying to disrespect anybody. We're not trying to do. We're just saying that just because we have this same skin doesn't mean that the land we weren't here prior to the settlers coming. Everybody wants to make it seem like all black people got to America when the settlers came. No, it was black people here.
Wait, that's something that I don't think I knew. I think it was only Mexicans and Native Americans here.
Exactly. That's
just
what
look
we're
up.
trying to tell you.
Look up Seminoles. Look up the Seminole people down in Florida. If you want to get an example, look up the Seminoles.
And by the way, Mexicans were not here in America when Columbus came.
No, Mexicans are basically
But
Spanish.
Mexico was a completely, it
You
was
can look.
intertwined with America before America
You can
became
look up
America.
the Geechee Gullah people, and this is going to give you a distinct from people that were coming over there and the people that were here, and how they made us mix with each other. That's what people don't understand. The mix that they were talking about. I'm gonna take this slave and this Mandingo and this person and that person. They had all these different people from different tribes here and there, and they mixed them to get the best that they could get when it came to producing work, getting the height, the looks they want, what was more appealing. That we understand that this was a breeding thing that they took all these things from. And that's why when they came out with those human zoos, they could come there and show these people what they were doing. This was mixed in with the Germans, Henry Ford, and all that, all for 400, 500 years. This whole thing got put together.
And this is another thing, Asha, like a lot of people like to push it off on black people that they don't know their lineage. Like, I understand that my ancestors walked the Trail of Tears. That's how they ended up in the Tennessee and Arkansas. When he's talking about the Seminoles, when you look up a Seminole, Florida State Seminoles, they are dark-ass Indians. Why are they dark-ass Indians? You know what I'm saying? It's just people misconstrue location with skin color.
Well, and
They're actually
it
not that
seems
dark.
like they don't really.
What the fuck you mean they not that dark? Look at the Florida State mascot.
I'm from Florida.
The mascot, Carlos.
too.
Go look at the Florida State Seminole mascot. You talking about it ain't that dark?
I am a
But
Florida State
they
Seminole
don't teach you
fan.
this. They don't teach you
Man,
this
I'm finna
shit
pull
in
it up right now.
school. So that's why you're I'm also uneducated, because they don't show you this stuff. You know what I mean? You have to go and learn it on your own.
Well, there's a reason they
Okay,
don't.
look at the
They don't want
Washington
you to know this stuff.
Redskin mascot.
What I'm
He's a
saying is you can
Redbone.
do that. What they're only going to tell you about the Northern Passage. When they talk about the Southern Passage, all they talk about is Polynesians and how good they could sail. But they never tell you about the people that was there before. They don't tell you about Christmas Island. They don't tell you about the different people that have this blood that comes from Austronesian blood that was in South America before all these people. And now they have it mixed into them. And the last Yagan speaker, she was a Yagan woman that could tell you this. I think her name is Christina Calderon, is dead now. But she had lived almost 90 some years, and she was the last one to have the distinct Afro-Asiatic blood that came through the Southern Passage that they know was there. This is Louisa. These are all these mummies that they're finding. That's why they're telling you they're the women that they are, because these people were there before them. And these same people populated this whole area. That's what I was telling y'all when I said the Little Spear people and the Big Spear people. The Little Spear people, they hunt birds and little rodents or little small things, and they eat, and they have their little tribes in their areas, and they have their beliefs. The Big Spear peoples Like you should know, like Shaka Zulu, when I make this big spear, it's meant to kill big things, other human beings. So when you always hear about it, you hear about the Siberians, you hear about the white people, the Eurasians that came over these ice bridges, and they were doing this and doing that. They never even tell you how they ate. If everything was frozen, what the hell were y'all eating when y'all was coming over the ice bridge?
Mm-hmm.
All right,
Look
bro.
up,
So you
look up.
Carlos, my bad. I had the mascot wrong. I guess I don't know. I guess it's the Mandela effect. But look at these. These the niggas I'm talking about. Hold on. How I make my layout bigger.
Also, look up Olmecs. OLMEC.
Let me make my shit bigger, man. These is niggas, bro. I don't give a damn what you talking about. Hold on. How I turn my camera around?
But they claim that they debunked all that, but that's the same thing that they're doing in Egypt.
Man, them
There's the
is
Seminole
niggas,
Indians,
bro. Them is
Seminole,
niggas.
Geechee Gullas.
Niggas. Hold on.
But
That's a nigga for
you
sure.
can look up,
That's
you
a
can
nigga
look
for
up
sure.
most
These are
tribes.
So
Indians,
what?
man, but them niggas, man.
This is a kind of random topic, but this is something I've been thinking about recently. What is your opinion of the South Seminole Island? Do you think that they're better off being so secluded, or do you think that they're needing to get viewed and seen? I don't know what the hell
I
I even
think
said.
people should leave them alone. They've been there for thousands of years not being bothered, and
Leave them
and they've
alone.
been kept themselves good, and they haven't had disease, they haven't had all the problems we've had. I think if there is something there that pure, they should leave it alone.
Yeah, it just seems like it's kind of like a like nature versus nurture like type of shit where you're like you don't really know what the difference would be if they were being unsecluded. Like if we just went over there and just started talking to them and gave them
Unsecluded.
Christianity and stuff like that, you know.
They're gonna they're gonna try to kill you, and then they're gonna die
Yeah.
because of our disease, our codes, our everything, our
Yeah,
soul
the
advanced. They're
diseases.
not
Yeah.
ready. They're not ready
Tell,
for that, and their bloodline, because there's so many less of them, because it's not that many of them. Their bloodline would thin out and be gone in less than, I say, 50 years. I'm sorry, Steve. Go ahead.
Yeah, they probably
no,
inbred than a motherfucker over there.
yeah, but everything that we know is that the second that you introduce, just like you said, when you introduce Christianity, you're introducing disease, cigarettes, poison, horrible thoughts, and that will be
Alcohol.
that'll be
Well,
the end of their
but
society.
don't you think like being saved, like
Girl,
introducing them to Jesus, like if you
save from
don't
who?
save, like
Save them from white man mentality. All right,
no, not like that, but
leave
like
them people
saving
Hold
alone.
on.
them
I
by
got a
like introducing
question.
them to Jesus.
No,
Hold
leave them
on. Can
alone.
I ask a question?
They're
Go ahead.
okay.
Can I ask a question?
They're okay. Yes. Go ahead.
Why
Ask
does
a
the young lady?
question.
Why does the young lady sound like a white girl?
She mixed.
Who, me?
She's
She just
mixed.
told you 3 times what she was mixed with.
Look at her
She
picture.
sound like
She
Star to me. She just
put her
sound
picture
like
there.
her.
Yeah, she sound like Aisha here. She done told us 3 times what she was mixed with here.
Yeah, that's how she got a voice like that, man. She got a real soft voice,
Oh, you
man.
got to remember, I got kicked out the chat. I mean, I got kicked out, and it took some time for me to get back in,
Nah,
so I
she
might have
done
missed
told us
when
what
she
she
went
was
over
since
it.
you been back here. She done said it like 3 times. Her parents is she got African roots and other shit.
There's no
Well,
group.
then she ain't. Well, okay, so she's not FBA.
I don't
don't think.
Wait, what is
FBA, you gotta
FBI? Can
have
you tell me? Because
no,
I'm doing
one
something. I
as
can't
long as
look it up.
I think it's what is it? One of your grandparents have to be FBA for you to be considered it.
What does that
Now
mean?
she's not all the way
FBA?
black. Now she's not all the way black. Now she is mixed, but she could have some FBA lineage if as long as one of her grandparents is.
Yeah, but she don't know what FBA is, plug.
I've never
There's nothing wrong
FBA
with
is a
that.
kind of nuanced term. FBA is a nuanced term. And then they
Yeah.
say get a DNA test. It's like that 23andMe shit. I'm not doing. I seen somebody swab a cat and send it to 23andMe, and they sent it back fucking results saying it was from here and there, and as like it was a human. I seen them swab a cat. I don't believe none of that shit.
I
They're gonna
might be a
quantify it
conspiracy
on,
theorist, but I'm never gonna give the government my
but
DNA
but
willingly. I'm
they
not
have
gonna do
mine,
no
and
23andMe.
they link me up. with other people that was relatives of mine without me putting them in. Damn.
What was
They gonna
that? That
put
was
me in some
crazy.
jails for some weird ass